todo fim de semana.
Сок, березовый глоток. Тишины послушать вою, по тропинке в лес густой. Поболтать с березкой вдоволь про него и про любовь. Матушка земля, белая березовика, зеленее святая Русь, для других занос века. Матушка земля, ой, белая березовика, зеленее святая Русь, для других занос века. Мне еще годочка кукушки поспрашать, про любовь свою девичью на ромашке погадать. Ключевой воды студеный, солнце свежего ветку, в чистом поле темной ночью в небе звездном утону. Матушка земля, белая березовика, зеленее святая Русь, для других занос века. Матушка земля, ой, белая березовика, зеленее святая Русь, для других занос века.
Emocional, mas não vou botar sobre vou viver a minha vida da sempre fonte dos tu casa. Vida dia não dá. Vida dia não dá. Emocional, mas não vou no casa. É na fonte dos tu casa. Vida dia não dá. Emocional, mas não vou no casa. É na fonte dos tu casa.
Alright, we're gonna start this. We're gonna start this. What's good? What's good? What's good? Let's get this lighting on. Let's get this lighting on. Let's go. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. How's that? Can you see me? See this pretty face? See this pretty face? Man, I'm still trying to get my sound right, sound good, sounding. Get me off this. Let's do it this way. No. No. See, that's what happens when you don't don't stream for a long period of time, or at least a short period of time. It's only been like maybe like a few days. I mean, damn, how's it all doing? How everyone doing out there in the void? Okay, the void of space, the void of nowhere. Cause I cannot tell. I'm gonna turn my sound up just a little bit, just in case, because I don't know if my sound is sounding. Let's do this. Test, test, test. I think that should be good. I think that should be good. I don't got anyone to tell me that my sound is good. All right, I got one more last thing, one more thing to do, and I'll talk about what we're talking about today. It's going to be pretty average. I'm kind of late on some of the news. I'm kind of late on some of the things. I know in the title it says make music, and I know I've been disappointing a lot of people. Say you say you want to do it. I am fully awake. I have coffee. I got my drankety drink. I got coffee. I got Monster. All right. I have not been drinking, so I should be okay. I should be okay to keep going. But we'll see. We'll see how things going. I wanted to watch. There's some things I want to watch. There's some things I want to go over. Just to create some type of content out there. And really, and then once I'm done with all that, and plus it's over here, it's the morning time, so we'll see how long we'll go. Because there's, I also want to talk about some anime. I love me some anime. I was going to watch some anime after this. So we'll see how long we'll go for. We'll see how long we'll go for and get started. This I gotta make sure the chat is going on in my other app. Make sure they arrive. Make sure they arrive. Got my phone. As you know, I got all kinds of cameras going on right here. I got like three things in front of me. Okay, I got to make sure the live stream right here is okay. I got the whole reaction thing on this monitor, and I got my phone right here checking the chat. So I know that sign's gonna fall down. I know that sign's gonna fall down. I have an idea of what I'm gonna do for that sign, but I know that sign once it fall down, it's gonna look so tacky. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I know the title says make music, and I know I always in a lot of the streams, I've been disappointing you, just haven't had the energy to do it. I have the energy today. Now I have a lot of things I want to go over, a lot of reactions and things like that. I'm going to try to pull a long one. Okay, at least definitely over an hour for sure. Definitely gonna try to pull a long one. We're gonna see how far I can get through it. I'll probably get through the first. I gotta find the vibe. The vibe is gonna take probably maybe not that long. Matter of fact, I should finish one of the. No, I don't want to spoil it. Probably do find the vibe. They come up with the lyrics. Write the lyrics for y'all, and then uh, singing it. Saying it through the mic and everything. I don't know how that's gonna work in terms of my whole setup right here. The mic and everything. But we'll see. We'll see. It's in the word. If I don't get through it, I apologize. Just make sure. If this string gets like 1,000, let's say 10,000 likes or something on this string, then it's gonna be obligated. I know. I said, oh, you said that last string. I know. I need to stop. That's like one of my weaknesses, my pet peeves, that I say something, then I'm gonna do it, and I just haven't gotten to it. Just haven't gotten to it. But don't worry, I'm gonna get to it. I'm going one of these days. I am gonna get to it. Okay, I am going to get through it. It's just like there's a lot of things I want to go over. Okay, so maybe we could rush through this, push through it, and see what's going on. See what's going on. I do want to let me just let you know what videos I got popped up ready to watch. Because as you already know, all right, so in every stream, I go over some poly market bets, so we're probably going to go over that. We have to talk about this whole Pim Bonnie thing. You know, Trump got rid of another one on his cabinet, so we got to get that out of the way. Like I always said, this is not a political type of stream. All right, this is my first time on YouTube, so I gotta keep it tamed a little bit. Okay, I gotta try to not do a whole lot of cussing, a whole lot of cursing, and all that. So I gotta be on my best behavior when it comes to streaming on YouTube, as you know. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about what else do I got up on here? Yeah, like I said, we're gonna talk about some anime debates. I got a really hot take. One from one of the, from one of the videos is from that One Piece talk. I love that stream. I love those guys. They are doing it. Shout out to them. I love that stream because they go into debate. They do talk about One Piece a lot, which is fine. Which is completely fine. But it would be nice to talk about some other animes. I know Trash Taste they had a good take on something. If I can remember it, I'll talk about that as well. But yeah, that we're gonna talk about that One Piece talk. They were talking about the Sky Splitter. I had when I saw that video, I was like, oh, I got some thoughts. Oh, I got some thoughts. But yeah, we'll talk about that. Not too sure if we're gonna go through everything on TikTok. You know, I don't want to do too much brain rotting on that platform. TikTok it can be toxic, man. TikTok can be so toxic. What's going on here? You know, TikTok can be so effing toxic, man. I barely get on that app. I barely get on that platform. But what I noticed, at least from what I see on YouTube and from the reaction channels, a lot of people they just react to what they see on TikTok or whatever is trending. And I don't want to be doing all that. To be honest with you, I don't want to be like reacting to brain rot type of shit and like oh, this content creator is reacted. Like it's kind of like that whole court thing. You get what I'm saying? That whole court. Some guy crashed out in court, you know, and got arrested in court. And there's a judge, you know, that's trending. There's a judge that kind of like crashed out on one of the technicians and stuff like that, and all these content creators are reacting to it or on it. I mean, shout out to them to get it going. You know, to get it going, to get that content out there and just talk about it. But I think there's so much news around it. It's not like you really need to hear my take on it. Like really, I don't know. I think that's stuff like that to me is it's like you get on X and just write like, oh look at this, and you know write it and then be done with it. To me, at least, to me. But I don't know. Say it in the comments. Say it in the YouTube comments. Let me know. Let me know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe we do need to start talking about things that's trendy on YouTube, um, of that nature. But we'll see. We'll see. Coming up, we also need to talk about. Oh, this is something I've been wanting to talk, or at least vibe out to for sure. Is the Artemis program? You know, we got astronauts going to the moon. I'm gonna take a drink for that one. Matter of fact, let's just crack one open. Let's just go ahead and do this. Crack one open. Get this. Get man. I'm gonna look like a fool if I can't get my drinkity drink open. Come on now. I ain't got nails either. There we go. Crack open. I know in one of my streams, man, I know what if y'all were here in one of my streams, I had three to like four monster drinks. and I was crashing out like crazy. And my stomach hurt. That was, one of my bad streams. That was like one of my worst streams. 3 monster strings, in deep. I probably ate something bad. Had to go to the bathroom. Had to leave the stream for like almost 3 or 4 times. It was all bad. It was all bad that stream. I don't know why. I think I was having a bad day too. So who knows? Who the? Not this time. Not this time. I probably had like maybe 2 monster drinks. Cause one, as you mm. I had one when I went to go see the I think I'm addicted to monster drinks. Who knows? The Mario movie. I'm gonna talk about that. That wasn't really on topic, but we could talk about it. We could talk about it. So my opinion about the Mario movie, Mario Galaxy, it didn't seem. They should just called it. The it was mainly Mario, Luigi, Peach. All gone on an adventure, right? And it seemed more of a Peach movie than a Mario movie. Okay, from if you analyze the story, but which is it's fine, doesn't really matter. I think my issue with the movie, okay, it's a kids movie. Straight up, it's a kids movie. It's not for adults, it's for kids. And as you're going in there looking for like a deep storyline, you're done. No, you're gonna fall asleep. You're gonna be like, "What's going on here?" Okay, well, how'd that happen? To this happen, and like, what? Like, this is not making any sense. Everything that's going on in the screen is not. But kids in there, they loved it. It was hard for me. This is the second time like I had a not so pleasant theater experience. The last one was the Hail Mary, and now this one because someone was kicking my damn seat. Don't you hate that song? It was kicking my seat. I almost had to like turn around, like, yo, what's going on here? But other than that, the Super Mario movie is gonna make some money. The Super Mario movie is gonna make some damn money. It's gonna make some good money. It might hit a record depending on how many people is in your theater, but that's gonna make some money. But in terms of the movie, my issue with the movie was the story was incoherent, and I was hoping, and all that is fine if you're trying to make a kids movie, but at least give me another Bowser song. At least give me another Bowser song. Just like in the first one, we had peaches, 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 peaches. At least give me another one of that. And then I would have been like, okay, it was chill. I liked it. They didn't even give me that. They didn't do that. Bowser didn't sing. Jack Black didn't sing. It's not like they didn't afford it, because all that glitter on the screen is like, oh, I see where your budget went. And not only that, like you had you could have cut a lot of that movie out. You could have cut like maybe 20 minutes out that film. There's a lot of things that was going on that did not need to happen. And not only that, it's called Galaxy. The title is called Galaxy, but really it's really planets. If that make any sense, it's Super Mario planets. If you really think about it, and not only that, the way they travel through all these planets and atmospheres and stuff like that, the way they travel really didn't make any sense to me. Like, I thought, Peach had to go over here and do all these things to get there, while Mario's back on this planet, and then somehow they meet up. Like, okay, how did that happen? What, the pipes? So you have pipes up in the planets or something like that? I don't know. I don't know. That didn't make any effing sense. That didn't make any sense right there, at least to me. So and then another thing that making any sense is what they did to Bowser. They really softened his character. It's kind of like Jack Black didn't have that much lines. But yeah, I don't like what they did to Bowser. They really, he's supposed to be this menace and capture. What happened to the whole love thing between Bowser and Peach? Like, is that a thing now or is it not? That was kind of off. But the positive thing is I did like Bowser Jr. He's in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler. I like Bowser Jr. There is a cameo. Probably not going to spoil it. Well, by the time this stream comes out, for some of y'all, for some of y'all, um, you don't know, but there's another. Depending on when this gets posted, you already know who the character is. But for now, for those of you who know, who do I got now? I'll just say it. I'll just say it because there's no one here right now unless you're on Big O. Big O, what's up? Big O and Nico. I see y'all. So should I let you know the secret character? Let me see who we got. All right, yeah. So the secret character is Star Fox McCloud, and he was cool. Can't really. I mean, he was legit. I was hoping he would be a little bit more historic, a little bit more historic, not a bro, if you know what I mean by that, a bro type of character or vibe, whatever you want to call it. But it's fine. I mean, I'm glad he was in the movie. But the real big problem, though, I wouldn't say real. Well, the real big problem is how consistent or how inconsistent the story was. How inconsistent the story was for me a huge problem because I did not understand how one point A went to point B, and like you capture the other princess for to suck up her powers to do what exactly? For the big gun. Yeah. It was for the big gun, and they were gonna shoot it. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. They were gonna shoot it, and then somehow Peach was able to save. Uh, It was a huge cameo. It was a huge cameo fest in that movie. A lot of cameos. Donald Glover did a good job as Yoshi. With the little things, lines that he had. You know, uh, I think he could have been utilized with a. I think Donald Glover could have been utilized with Star Fox over Yoshi, if you ask me. I think he would have been a better fit for that character instead of Yoshi. Because let's be honest, Yoshi didn't really have lines. Yoshi, that's Yoshi right there. And what else do we got? I think that's it. I think that's my entire review of the Mario movie. But if you have kids, if you got kids, yeah, go see that movie with your kids. They'll love it. It'll be a monumental thing for them. They'll love it. You got kids that into that Mario stuff. Yeah, I love Mario too. I grew up playing Mario. I grew up on the Mario N64. Okay, that's where I grew up on. I grew up on the Mario N64 and beating that game, and then called myself trying to speed run, and I gave up. I was like, nah, I ain't trying to speed run this. I'm not trying to speed run this. But I had a lot of fun playing the Mario game. That's what got me into the Donkey Kong 64 on the N64, and then all like back in the day. when it came to gaming. When it came to gaming, back in the day, it was a lot of third-person games, the adventure games, going off on an adventure. That was my jam. That was my jam. But let's get into this. That was a long ass intro. Okay, I'm sitting here talking to the camera. That was a long ass intro. We're not talking about. This is not the entire stream. We're talking about the Mario movie. But if you're out there and well, when this gets posted, you'll see. You'll already see it. All right, let's get into it. What else are we going to be talking about? Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, the Pambani stuff. We're going to talk about the space. And oh, did y'all hear? Did y'all know? Did y'all hear? I guess one of our fighter jets got taken down. I definitely want to hear that. But let's knock out some politics real quick. Let's just knock that out, and then let's get into the good stuff because I want to hear about space and all this other stuff. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Give me one sec while I pull up this video right here. I haven't seen this video, but I know a lot of people are talking about it. Why does it always do this? Switch it up. I like this angle a lot better. All right, let's hear what he has to say.
Is screaming, and they're letting everybody know that they took down an F-15E Strike Eagle.
Yep.
Looks like it was from the 494th Fighter Squadron out of RAF Lakenheath. You can see that the tail on the actual pictures from the crash site show that red stripe at the top, which is aligning with that squadron at Lakenheath. And Iran is claiming that it was with one of their new air defense missiles, which we'll be covering that throughout this video. Iranian state media is saying, and the IRGC are triumphantly hailing this.
Yeah, I know the administration is pissed about this. You know, and I already know that they have a rescue team going after them. So Godspeed. Hopefully they get our men out of there and save them. I already know they capture, save one of the pilots on the F-15, but the other one's still missing. But yeah, man, this is a huge deal. Bombing it, but I know Trump is pissed. I know Hegseth is probably like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my vengeance." They ready to get their vengeance. So hopefully this war, whatever you want to call it, ends quickly and promptly, and just get this over with before the midterms, which might happen.
As proof of resilient defenses, initially claiming it was an F-35 is what their initial propaganda machine said, but they showed the wreckage, the tail wreckage specifically of the F-15E. And then the ejection seat images that they've showed, those don't look like the actual ejection seats from an F-15E. It looks like something.
Oh, wait, those are not the ejection seats? Wait, who took these pictures? That's what I want to know.
Different. The handles on the ejection seats for the F-15Es are on the side, and the ones they showed are up above near the pilot's helmet. But they're vowing broader and more destructive retaliation, and they're rejecting any claims of a ceasefire as well. But here's the part they don't want you to hear about. While they're celebrating about taking down an F-15E, which it looks like one of the crew members has been safely recovered. That's the number one thing, is to get the crew members back. So looks like one of them have been safely recovered, likely by Air Force pararescues and potentially other special operators getting them out of the country, but there's still one that is being searched for. I'll be giving you the latest breaking news on what the operation is to.
Yeah, and that's the one that I was talking about. That they got one, but another guy's missing. Hopefully he's not captured, but it's a possibility that he may have been captured. But that's man, this war stuff, man. I don't. If you see my streams already, I just hope that when this is over, that there's a benefit from all this. Like, we better get some oil. That's what I care about. Like, you can't lose lives and not be rewarded for all this. You know. So let's finish this.
Try to get that second crew member. But Iran is celebrating about this while their tallest suspension bridge, the B1 bridge, 136 meters high, was just hit near Karaj in Iran. It could have been hit by F-15E Strike Eagles. This is a targeting solution that the F-15E Strike Eagles practice all the time. The bridge got cut in half by an American precision airstrikes, never to be used again, or at least not for a long time. It's a military supply route. But the big win here is the rescue of one of those F-15E crew members, and God willing, there'll be the rescue of the second one here soon. There's a daring multi-aircraft operation taking place right now as we speak, involving HH-60G Pave Hawks refueled by HC-130s, with the search for the second crew member continuing. Because remember, in the F-15E, there's a fighter pilot in the front and a fighter Wizzo in the back, weapons systems operator in the back of that F-15E. But the F-15E hauls serious heat and weaponry. It's a true workhorse that's built for these deep strikes and air superiority. So these F-15E pilots are risking their lives every single day because they're the ones that are being asked to go deep inside enemy territory. And remember, it's a fourth generation fighter. So with Russia and China helping Iran to advance some of their weapon systems, targeting a fourth generation fighter can happen in a lucky shot, in a one-off. Even after the different surface to air missile sites have been struck down in Iran, there's still a couple of these because the country is so massive. There's still some of these that exist that can do exactly what we saw happen here. But it's one of America's most capable fighters, the F-15E, and Iran has been able to take down one among thousands of sorties being flown by F-15Es, F-16s, and other aircraft. But President Trump has been briefed on this. Caroline Leavitt said he's gotten the briefing, but likely right now the number one focus is making sure that every single asset is focused on trying to find that second crew member. That's huge. And finding that second crew member while showing Iran that their power plants, their bridges, all their different infrastructure are fair game.
And one thing I do want to say, we do have like one of the most powerful militaries, one of the most powerful like Delta forces. I mean, if you just look at that whole Maduro thing, that right there should tell you like what. That's incredible. In and out like ninjas. So that's kind of something I was kind of hoping for, the whole Iran stuff. And, just take the leader out, replace them, and then destroy their military capabilities, and we out. At least in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. That's I mean that if I was and I will never be. But if I was president, I would be trying to make some kind of do a simultaneously attack because it's a joint venture. Just blow up all the militaries before we even go in. Locate all their military equipment and do one straight shot. One straight. Okay, we got that boat, and then boom, 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 like make it rain, With Israel, I mean, you got Israel close off the oil pipeline, and then just make one big shot. Torpedoes in that boat over there. They got that ship over there, Sri Lanka. All in one swoop, or at least. And then, but before even all that, before that even happened, before that even happens, I'll be trying to insert some other leader or say, hey, once we do this, we want this person to be leader. We want this person to be leader. Once we take this person out, oh no, then who we need to take out to make this person leader, or what's going to, not that direct, but somewhere I will have like if I in my pretend world of Secretary of State and just like okay, who are you guys thinking and what's your plan on leadership or things like that. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know we're gonna kill them, him, her, and her, and then once they're gone, you're a leader. All right, and then do operation, epic Clesta, and then swoop in and destroy that bad boy, and hopefully no ground troops or anything like that. Definitely Air Force. Once you have air capabilities, I think that's real powerful. Air capabilities and satellite capabilities is very very powerful, especially with hacking too. But hey, hey, that's me.
And with President Trump saying this on Truth Social, with a little more time, we can easily open the Hormuz Strait, take the oil, and make a fortune. It would be a gusher for the world. So the focus right now, preparing the battlefield, striking the infrastructure. The Marine Expeditionary Unit is in the area, and now the USS Ford is trucking back or sailing back towards the area as well after getting some repairs done. So now even more naval air power being sent into the region, and the Carrier Strike Group. Having more of those is just going to increase the combat capability to open the Straits of Hormuz. And the strikes on the B-1 bridge are hitting Iran where it hurts, hitting the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, right where their money flow is happening. But let's pop to X for some latest breaking information on the situation. So here we are on X, everybody. Here's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
One crew member from the F-15E shot down over Iran has been rescued by American forces and is receiving medical care per officials cited by NBC, Reuters, CBS, New York Times, and others. The search continues for the second crew member. No confirmed reports of any detainment in Iran so far. And here's the different images that we're seeing. So they originally compared this to an F-35 tail. Propaganda machine initially said it was an F-35, but the wreckage here you can see is clearly an F-15E from the 494th Squadron out of Lakenheath Heath. The shooting down the U.S. F-15E fighter jet over Iran today. Fates of the pilots still unknown, and this is a shot of that jet out of Lakenheath Heath as well. You can see the red tails here. One U.S. crew member from the downed F-15E jet have been rescued, as per official sources are telling us. So Godspeed to the pilot or Wizzo that's still out there. I hope they're safe, and I hope they are rescued very soon. There's a view of the F-15E Strike Eagle, and then bringing you guys in to actually the location on where this is taking place here. But it's a big province. It stretches kind of the center mainland portion of Iran itself. And then on this map, you can see a lot of the different strikes that have taken place. Lots of strikes over the last 24 hours. And then F-15E going down, obviously tragic, terrible. We got to find that remaining crew member, but this is potentially what that F-15E was up to. This isn't confirmed yet, but lots of new strikes happening on the infrastructure in Tehran. Looking at this B-1 bridge and seeing it coming down, this could have been the target by the F-15E or B-1s, B-52s, but now striking down the actual infrastructure in Tehran that is supplying the war machine, supplying the drones, and the ballistic missiles. That seems to be a main focus, and an F-15E mission could definitely have been to drop this bridge as well. Here's more information coming in. This is from Military Times saying U.S. forces rescued downed F-15 crew member in Iran, and the search for the second continues. One of two U.S. F-15E strike.
Yeah, and I think he's just repeating himself at this point, but we get it. We get the gist of it. Air 15 got shot down. One was captured and rescued and in the hospital getting medical treatment, and the other guy is on the search. So he's not really saying anything new. Not really saying anything new, but we get it. We get it. So God rest all the people in our military that's going. I used to work for the military a long time ago. So it's the Navy, the turn if you want another branch. But it is what it is. So we just gotta win and see what happens in midterms. All right, doesn't look good for the midterms, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But anyways, that was one of the segments that we're going to be working on. How am I feeling? I am feeling good. The thing is I gotta always try to remember that I'm here to promote my album. Okay, your sexual black fantasy is coming. All right, we are in April, only a few weeks away, and I got three songs that's not done yet. Hold on, I need to have a little conversation with y'all. All right, I need to have a little conversation with y'all. Hopefully, I want to do a listening party. Okay, so if whoever's watching this or whoever's seeing this, I'm trying to do a listening party of the entire album. It's not going to be that long. It's only going to have like maybe 7 songs or maybe even less on it. It's just, man, I gotta stop being lazy on it. Just gotta stop being lazy on it. But it is coming out. Your sexual black fantasy. It is. If you have a girlfriend, it's really for the ladies, you know. But you guys, if you got a girl and you're not on that red pill type of stuff, this album's for you. Okay, you got a girl and you know how to spit some game and you know how to pull, then you want to put my album on. Okay, it's a little mixer of dubstep, if you know, electronic and R&B. Okay, it's a mixture. It's a mixture. I know you're probably thinking, how do you do that? Well, you gotta listen to it and see how I did it. It's not nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy, but that's the style, that's the genre, and I worked really hard on that. I worked really hard, especially in the age of, you know, with this AI stuff. You know how easy it is just to generate something and call it yours. Too bad you can't do that. Can't do that. You can't just generate something and call it yours. Nah, once you generate it, you don't own that copyright. Okay, and sometimes I get hesitant on it, like even putting any of my stuff on those platforms, because once you do, oh, then they could train on it. You get what I'm saying? So I want to give them. I want to use the tools that they give me instead of the tools that I have to give them. If that makes sense, you get it? Like, give me the tools that you have to help me build what I want, while I don't have to give you what I have, so that you can make tools for your agenda, you know, and then use my creativity and get zero payment, get zero compensation off that. I don't think that's right. You know, if I give you tools, like not, I don't want to say their name, but those platforms, they make money from the subscription fee. So I'm already paying you to use your tool. Now, are you paying me for the ideas and lyrics or whatever, or my voice? Why my lips look like so? Oh, what's going on with that? It's that lighting. It's that lighting. I need to get a haircut. It's time to shave, boy. Trying to shave. I got a haircut on the 8th, so it is what it is. I'll get trimmed down. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. No, what I was saying was, if you're gonna use your AI or machine whatever to learn, then shouldn't I be compensated for that? Think about that. I should be compensated if you're gonna be training off like whatever asset that I inputted. So yeah, so I use the benefit of their tools instead of the benefit of using what I create organically, organically. But I can promise you, on this album is straight up. It's definitely me. So I can definitely promise that 100%. And I can also promise uh, the lyrics is me. I wrote them. I wrote them all in 2025. I wrote all the lyrics. The only thing that's assisted AI assisted is the some of the beat making because I had to figure out how can I mix R&B and electronic together. So and I found a way to grab different things, grab different parts, grab different stems, and just layer them together with the matching BPMs, and then call it call it that day. You know, call it like that. But but after that that's basically it. That's basically it. I still need to film some of the marketing stuff for it. And I'm like 4 weeks out, if not even less. So we'll see. Probably got to just do less anime watching and less everything else, right? So it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. If you got a significant somebody, and it's time for that boom boom, time for the boom boom, then your sexual black fantasy is what you want to put on. Okay. So with that being said, let's move on to the next video. And I'm always going to be plugging in uh, my promotion, my album promotion. So hopefully you guys like it. Let's get into more videos. Let's do this. And I'm glad my camera and everything is not freezing like my last stream. Man, that was rough. Oh, we need to talk about this. Since we're on to positive, we need to talk about Pam Bondi. What's going on with this? You know, like why did Pam Bondi get fired? You see, that's the thing. That's now I'm getting kind of one thing I like and dislike is he's holding his cabinet responsible. You no other president if like Christy Knowles and what she did, that shit was fucked up. That shit was fucked up. You know, spending all that money that was supposed to, well, if you know, you know. If you know the story, you know. But yeah, she deserved to, to be demoted. For sure. For sure. For sure. But I don't know the whole story about Pam Bondi. I don't know the whole. I don't know the whole story. But we're gonna watch and see. Hopefully, in this video, she'll talk about it. We're gonna watch a video from a VTuber because I like VTubers. You know, specific ones. Not the whole community, but specific ones I fuck with. I fuck with some VTuber. It's they have good takes and they're visually appealing. And Leaflet is on point. I like her taste. I disagree with her on some takes. So whenever I do put her on, I would like to disagree and give my takes on it because no one wants to be in an echo chamber. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to be in an echo chamber saying like, "Oh yeah, I agree." Like we gotta have at least a little disagreement. You know, we gotta have at least a conversation. That's why I like debates and everything like that. So we got at least, but it's kind of like I do agree a lot of what she says, but there's also times. So hopefully in this video I can find something that I disagree with and speak on it. But we'll see about the whole Pam Bondi thing. I should have streamed that whole Chrissy Gnomes thing. That shit was wild. Wow, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, talk about narcissist. But one thing about this administration is you will be fired if you over here fucking up. Okay, if Kamala was elected, that shit would not be happening. It'd be like, just try to keep it on the hush hush. It's like it's always pro this, pro that. You know, well, just keep it on the hush hush. We needed to spend that money because bling bling. You know, things are expensive. Like, can you imagine? Like, oh, all the funding was still been going on. The fraud would still be going on. Just fucking wild, man. Just fucking wild. Man, let's do this. Fucking wild. Put my earphones on. How do I do this? There we go. There's my girl Leaflet. Here she is. Man, I do not want to be sneezing on stream. Let's go. Let's go. Can y'all hear?
But let's see what this dark reason is. This is all speculation, though, apparently.
We just learned why President Trump fired Pam Bondi.
Did
Trump
we?
Makes it official, and
Right,
now
did we?
we know what got her fired, and it's worse than you thought.
I don't know about that. Did we fall, or is this just allegations, allegedly? See, you gotta watch out for some content creators and some news channels because they'll go off it as fact if you're not listening correctly. Like we finally figured out why she got fired, allegedly. So here we go. So look at this, look at that. You know, if you point the dots over here, you know, allegedly. Like, okay, did this happen or did this not happen? You know, and one thing that I've noticed, you know, while streaming, a lot of these content creators, they get their news from these blogs and sometimes liberal headlines, you know? So it's kind of like, well, if you want to know what's going on in the news and stuff like that, just go to where they're going. Go to these blog sites and stuff like that. Daily Mail. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really trust the Daily Mail, but it's whatever. You know, let's hear what our girl Leaflet had to say.
Thought, actually.
Huh?
Pretty bad, in fact, and it shocks me, quite frankly. Trump fires Pam Bondi after tumultuous year of Epstein Files fumbles and MAGA-based
pretty
anger
bad.
at her White House show.
That was pretty bad. Like the entire. I think that the reason that they're not releasing it is because they have fucking agents that are in there that are a part of like the list, and that they don't want to compromise those agents. That's my guess. Is that they have some people that were a part of it, like whether undercover or whatever, for whatever reason. There could be multiple reasons. It could be that they were a part of it because they were using it to control people, and that they were like, well, you know, they're going to do this anyway, regardless of what we do. So we're going to, and, you know, I'm not saying this is a good reason. Like, you know, separate this away from my personal idea of whether or not this is good. But I think that somebody made a calculation that was like, well, they're going to do this anyway. And if we shut it down, they're going to do it again, but then we won't be in it. So they were like, we might as well give them. And again, like I said, this is what I believe, right? I'm telling you, like, this is what I don't think this is a good thing, right? And they're like, if we shut it down, they're going to start it up again somewhere else, and we won't have control the next time. So we might as well just let them do their thing, and then at least we have an in, and we can somewhat keep it controlled, and in fact we can use it for our own purposes, right? For surveillance, blackmail, whatever the fuck, like reasons, like they can use it to control people.
So it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Um, man, I'll be honest. I really don't give a fuck about the Epstein files. I mean, the guy's dead. Oopsie. Yeah, the guy's pretty much gone and out of here. You know. So why do people care about this so much? But they do. About her take. Hide this real quick. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I don't think that's the case, but again, we're not in these rooms. We're not in these discussions. We don't know what's going on. I don't know uh how the Epstein files supposed to be handled, but all I can really do is give my opinion on it, and my opinion on it is if you're gonna run a campaign about the Epstein files, then you need to release the Epstein files. Let's not go into like, oh, the Epstein files is a hoax and who cares about it, into like, oh, release the Epstein files. And when you have Congress, which is shocking to me, which is incredible, you know, to agree left and right to release the Epstein files, to have an unanimous, except for one person who didn't get the memo, unanimous decision to release it, unanimously. Like, we can't agree to men and women's sport, we can't agree to bathrooms, we can't agree to transgenderism, we can't agree to the same thing with voter bro, we can't agree on that. But the Epstein file, we can agree on that. We can agree to that. You know, like it's wild. Congress is just like they need to get their shit together for real. Congress really need to get their shit together. But when has Congress got their shit together? Oh, we could we're gonna defund, not defund, but stop DHS funding and stuff like that for the TSAs and block that. It's like, ugh. I would hate to be a politician. Like, I'm kind of politically fatigued, you know. And speaking about politics, it's really not a good way to promote my album like this way. Shit, I need something to talk about. Okay, but anyway, about back to her take. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I'm not. I'm leaving that in. I'm leaving that in for the editing. I'm leaving it in. Yeah, how she handled it was pretty poor. I think she the rhetoric is correct when she says I want to redact the victims' names. I think that's okay, and I think it should be redacted for the victims, you know. But that much redaction was wild. That was crazy. That was diabolical. You never should have that much. You could. What do we even have here? Like, what are you covering up here? It just makes you look more suspicious, especially when Congress said release it. And if Congress and the president says release it, you release that shit, no questions asked. You know, there should have been technically, there should have been no redaction at all. You know, and then post like, oh, I got the Epstein files on my desk, and then you waited this long to, and then I get it, 3 million pages is what at least what I was found out. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's a lot of pages. If you had just been honest, like, hey, we're still working on it. This is like 3 million pages. Okay, we're working on it. We're working on it. You know, I would have been like, okay, what? But at the same time, I really even technically I wouldn't be okay. I wouldn't even give a fuck. But back to her take. Now, are they redacting because there's Asian involved and they could use it for blackmail and things like that? Again, I didn't even read the Epstein files. So what's in it for to be blackmail? And I don't know. I don't. It's an opinion. It's her opinion, you know, and there's not much to go off of her opinion when the facts are um, hey, it was redacted. It's like trying to. I can't criticize someone's opinion. If I could, I'm going to do my best to like articulate this. I can't criticize someone's opinion when it's their opinion. Now, are there agents? Maybe. Were there agents involved in all this, and they could use it for blackmail and try to redact this and this, and we could use this for later? Maybe. It's not. It's not impossible, but to me, it's kind of like a little bit unbelievable. But again, this is like political warfare between different parties and stuff like that. You know, they'll like it was just announced like Tulsi Gabbard. Did Tulsi Gabbardson, or however you pronounce her name, saying, "Oh, we're about to go after President Obama because of the Russia hoax and stuff like that." It's kind of like, come on now, we're being petty at this point. Let the man go, not go, but let the man. Like, this is years ago. Why are we still talking about this? You know, let's move forward. It's not like this is like this is political warfare. You know, so to Leaflet's point, it's not impossible. You know, it's not that far fetched. You know, because the people on the right, they out for blood, and then when people on the left become in power, which they will, you best believe. Oh, we can't wait. Their phone, as soon as they get in power until the next election, as soon as they get in power, they can't wait. They cannot wait to go after Trump. They cannot wait. Like, ooh, they hate. Well, oh, the rhetoric we're about to spill. Oh, he did this and that. Oh, they can't. You know, so it's kind of like I don't know what service. And plus, not only that, I know I'm going off on a rant. I know I'm going off on a rant, but hey, this is my rant. If you don't like it, click off or whatever. But I gotta say this: it's when you do that, go on this political warfare between two people. Where does it end? You know, where you're supposed to be making laws, supposed to be making laws and bills and stuff like that. Not this arguing and like I gotta, you know, prosecute you and sue you here, sue you there, you know, all that bullshit. Like, come on now. And then not only that, what frustrates me, honestly, is let's say we catch these fraudsters, for example, right? Let's just say we catch them. If someone on the blue side, let's say Gavin Newsom or someone that runs and wins, someone like that. Good, let's hope not. But let's just say he does. Then all he has to do is give a pardon. I think the pardon powers needs to be eradicated. It should be only for not eradicated for the president. It should be only held for the Supreme Court. In my opinion, the pardon power should be held for only the Supreme Court. Period. Debate me. Let's debate that. Let's debate that. Not the president. I don't care if you're Trump or Biden. I don't care. The pardon powers is just it can be abused completely and misused. You know, I think I would love for another content creator to go to do a deep dive in her university courses about the pardon powers and why it was used for. I know if you go back in history and talk about it, but that pardon power, it kind of makes gelling your political opponents pointless. Because if once these fraudsters get found out and they get prosecuted, and it's kind of like they can just get a pardon, or the guy who with Charlie Kirk thing, you know, if that was a federal thing and he gets in, well then Gavin Newsom get well, the bullet didn't really match, so he probably wasn't the shooter, so I'll give him a pardon. Let's go. Let's go back to my girl Leaflet. Leaflet, what you saying? Let's hear more.
are they have people in it that they're utilizing it for their purposes under the understanding that if they shut it down, another one will happen that will be worse. Does that make sense? I think that's what's happening. That's again my just my theory of what's happening. There's no proof of this other than like motive. Like I'm considering like for what reason could they possibly not want to release the stuff? And I think it makes sense that you know, the cat's out of the bag. Basically people you know, there were leaks, investigations that happened. The cat's out of the bag. They lost control of the situation, but they have agents involved and they don't want to fuck them over. Does that make sense? Like they're like, that guy, I know he was a part of the thing, but actually he was secretly one of our agents.
It makes sense as a theory. It's just hard for me to believe that theory. But it's her opinion. It's I mean, I don't really have a definitive debate on it. I think, well, it's released, so it doesn't really matter now. So, and I don't understand why. I don't think I'll say this. I don't think Pam Bondi should have been fired just because of the Epstein files. I think there needs to be a little bit, I think it has to be a little bit more deeper than that. It has to be more, not the Epstein files getting fired over that shit. I'm sorry. No. That's not, I don't think she should have been fired because of the Epstein files. I don't think that's a reasonable. I don't think that's a fireable offense, to be honest. But we're gonna watch. We're gonna keep watching. I don't think the Epstein files is a fireable offense. What Christy Gnomes did, that's fireable offense. Yeah. Then we're talking. Then we're talking. Yeah. You need to get your ass out. You know. Hope. And I don't know. Despite what everyone said, I like Kash Patel, so I think he's been doing a good job. I think Kash Patel has been on fire, but it's not a good look. It's not a good look that. Let's do this. It's not a good look that his administration and a lot of the cabinets are just getting let go. Like, what you had Bongino. Bongino wanted to quit. Then Chrissy Gnomes getting downsized. Now you have Pam Bondi getting downsized. And I know there's one more. Like, who's next? You know, Kennedy? Robert? No. Yeah, the one for the health organization, whatever. It's like, who's next? So it's kind of like it's not really a good look. The people that's been doing a good job, obviously, Marco Rubio has been on fire. Like, I want him as my Secretary of State. Like, oh man, this guy, he knows how to speak. You know, I think JD Vance needs to do more. I'm gonna be honest. That's just my opinion. He knows how to speak. You know, he knows how to be on camera and he knows how to speak, but in terms of action and like he wasn't even there during the whole Maduro capture. You get what I'm saying? He should, you know, at least be in the background and, you know, be standing up. He wasn't even there during, you know, when they said, yeah, we captured him, you know, when Trump was saying, yeah, we captured him, blah blah blah. You know? So, but we'll see. And also, like, I like Ron DeSantis too. So let's get it.
Agents, and he was working with them but leaking the stuff to us. So like, they don't want to give away, they don't want to bust the agent or give away that they're agents, because there might be other reasons that they have them still. Like maybe they're still involved in some other stuff. And that's kind of what I think might be the case. What do you guys think of that theory? You think it's crazy, or you think it makes sense? Again, I don't know if it's true. This is just me speculating.
Yeah, it's
like
just
what,
speculation.
why they wouldn't release it, right? Why they would do such a bad job. So like then it would make sense for them to be like, okay, we're in here now. We're going to release all the shit, guys. We're going to release the Kraken, and oh shit, right? Like the person was like, all right, we're ready to go. I'm in there. Fuck it. We're releasing all of this shit. Like, you know, like Dan Bongino and whatnot, right? And they get in there gung ho, like we're going to take this all down. And they're like, oh my God, this is actually really bad. And then people above were like, yeah, do you see why we can't release it? And they're like, fair enough. And again, do I think that's the right thing to do? I don't know. I'm not in the room. I don't know what's at stake, right? Like if there could, like,
That's a
is there
good point.
possibly a route in which,
Yeah, and that's a good point. We don't know what's at stake. We don't know why it took them so long. Let's be honest. If you're someone on the left side of things, it definitely would have not gotten released at all. You know, that's something that we could both agree with. Whoever's watching this, that's something that we could both agree with. But I mean, it's a theory. What she's giving is a theory, and the theory is not that far fetched. So I'm trying to find something that I could disagree with her, but I can't disagree on a theory. You know, well, not excuse me, I misspoke. On an opinion, there's not a lot of holes in her opinion that I can really pluck out and be like, no. It's just, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I think it was like too much work for them, and they were like, man, we don't want to do this shit. Like, we got bigger things to do. Maybe they're understaffed, possibly. I don't know. Shit, I don't know. I don't give a fuck about Epstein files. I'll just be honest with you.
it's worth it? And again, like it's hard to say, right? Because it's such an emotional thing. Like when you're dealing with like kids being abused,
Yeah.
it's obviously like the biggest thing that you would worry about and you would want to stop. But it's like, what is on the other end of it? I don't know what that possibly could be. Like, could there be possibly something that was like worth not getting justice here for? It's possible, right? Like there are probably things that are holding the world together that we don't understand. It's honestly the most likely scenario, speaking from background experience as brewer. That's what I think. Like the motives, what I'm inferring is based on the motives and like what happened. Like how does any of the puzzle like fit? Where do the puzzle pieces fit here, right? Because again, Dan Bongino went in there like, I'm gonna fuck everything up. I'm gonna clean this up, and he gets in there and you just, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Right? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense unless I don't know, they fucking body snatch. Like they're fucking yerks now. You know, like they put a fucking yerk in Dan Bongino's ear or something. Like
Something did happen though. Something did happen, because let's be honest. If Dan Bongino was still doing his show and didn't accept the role, he will be asking questions too. Let's be honest. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a butt. But if you watch the show now, he ain't really talking about the Epstein files like that. You get what I'm saying? Because he knows. Yeah, he knows what's in him. So there's something going on, something dark going on, but at the same time, politicians are going to be politicians. They're going to say what you want to hear so they can have a job. Come on.
I don't know.
Go down. Okay, let's go to President Trump making it official. Then we're gonna rip
Oh
through
my God,
some of the
deep.
rumor mill stuff actually happening behind the scenes. Pam Bondi is a great American patriot, says Trump, loyal friend. Remember, she was his personal attorney, right? So, faithfully served as Attorney General of the past year. Pam did a tremendous job overseeing the massive crackdown and crime
Also,
across
I just actually, I'll talk about it when I watch the video.
the country. Murders plummeting to the lowest level since 1900. We love Pam. She'll be transitioning to a much-needed, more important job in the private sector to be announced at a date in the near future. Our Deputy Attorney General, very talented, legal mind Todd Blanche, will step in to serve as acting Attorney General. Thank you for your attention. This matters. A couple things here. People are saying that Pam Bondi is staying in the administration. No, this says that she'll be leaving. She's going to the private sector. So there we go. And then other people are saying that Lee Zeldin will get the job, is going to Todd Blanche. This is Donald Trump's personal attorney. Todd Blanche was the attorney that Trump had through many of his trials and deep state trials and witch hunts. Is very trusted by Donald Trump. And so that's the news directly from Trump. Here's what's going on behind the scenes. Pam Bondi, Attorney General, begged for her job. Late night White House showdown that happened last night. Bondi becomes the second to cabinet a casualty in less than a month, brought down by months of.
So see, that's the thing with the Daily Mail. I don't really count that. Pam Bondi begging for her job. I don't really see that happening, but I'm not in the rooms. Who knows? Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But it's kind of the Daily Mail. They're more left leaning, so I don't really buy that.
So MAGA fury about her botched Jeffrey Epstein file saga that dogged Trump's Justice Department since day one.
It was very bad.
Didn't have to be that.
It's bad, sure, it's bad, but it's not fireable. Because think about it, Trump was saying, "Oh, the Epstein files is just a hoax," and he was going back and forth with the Epstein files too. He was going back and forth too. So it's kind of like, oh, you botched the Epstein files, so I'm going to fire you after you were coming out. To me, that doesn't really make any sense. So I don't think no. The Epstein files being fireable offense and it looks bad. I mean, sure it looks bad, but I wouldn't fire her for that. It's like, hey, you fucked up, take responsibility, just don't let it happen again. Because if you look at her other successes, like catching helping catching that criminal, that drug lord, that ice gear drug lord, Ryan Wedding, that whole thing, that was a success. That's what should have been, more, put on display, But this little Epstein files and, doing all that redacting, yeah, that's bad. You should have redacted that much of it. I mean, a lot of when you unredacted, I hear it's going to be there's going to be another file that's unredacted, the entire thing, but all that redaction and stuff like that, that's crazy. That's crazy. But whatever's really in the Epstein files and why they try to keep it hidden, it's very suspicious. But what do you want to do? We're the public. Like, we're just voters at the end of the day. They need to convince us to vote for them. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's not really. I don't know.
Be that way. It was just
like
totally
the whole thing with the them releasing the files to specific people, but there's just so much bullshit. It was just bad.
Completely mishandled. It was all
the optics of it were terrible.
All done by them. Nobody forced you to do the binders. Nobody forced you to do the stupid unsigned memo. Nobody forced you to say that Jeffrey Epstein's a great guy and that he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, that's what the memo practically said. There were no co-conspirators. He didn't traffic anybody to anybody. Oh, okay. Well, the files say something very different, and yet there's no arrests. And it makes people angry when they're getting lied to, and you can just tell this is bad. Remember, she told me famously, I did one of the first interviews with her, and she said, the files are sitting on my desk. You better get ready. Nothing ever happened. Anyway, the point is that this was totally and completely mishandled. And they say, apparently it was the Epstein files, but there's something else here. Check this out. Todd Blanche getting tapped for the role. Trump informed the Attorney General last night, shortly before his Iran speech, that she would be leaving the Justice Department. Following the meeting, Bondi left Washington, D.C. and flew back to her home in Florida. She remained at the White House for the remainder of Trump's speech. Bondi responded by pleading to the president to give her more time for the role, but Trump remained firm.
How good was the speech, Chad? I didn't see it. I didn't have time. I was like working on the anniversary video the whole time. Nothing happened. When are we getting the aliens? Like, I want to know when the aliens
Flew back to her home in Florida. She remained at the White House for the remainder of Trump's.
There's aliens. There's aliens. There's so many. I know it's another conspiracy, but there's definitely aliens. I don't need Congress or the White House or politicians to like come out to say, "Oh, we have it." No, there's been aliens. They just been covering up, and we just gotta use common sense at this point. I mean, there was a Congress hearing about it. You know, I think what it is now. I'm gonna blame the public for this one, just because there's so many eyewitnesses. There was this Congress hearing. I gotta find it. I'm not gonna do it right now, but I gotta find it. There was this Congress hearing of how this guy got captured, and he was like a high general. He was a high general. He knows all the secrets of top secret facilities. He's in front of Congress. Like, this guy is a somebody. He's not just some nobody. He was a somebody. You know, and he was talking about, yes, there's aliens, and they did this, and they're trying to do that. And what I saw, you know, he was laying it out, you know, and I was watching that, and I'm looking at the views, and I'm like, how does this not have millions of views? And I'm like looking at the video, and I'm like, how does this shit not have so views? You know? And there's been other instances of this, you know, of Alien. So it, you know, even including the story, there was this one movie about it. I can't remember. I'll do a separate video on that, but they exist. And the reason why I blame the public is because they exist. Why do you need Congress to confirm it at this point? You know, why do you need just to like, see, I told you? No, I've been new. I've been new this. And there was this bet on Polymarket. I want to bet on it, but it's just too stupid because one of the bets on the homepage. You can't miss it. Will Congress or will whatever release that there's aliens out there? And it's obviously no, they're not going to release that. But at the same time, how would it be done? You know, if you look at the rules on that thing, it's like it's too ridiculous. But yeah, aliens definitely. And I'm not on the notion of we're the only ones in the universe. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. The logic of that doesn't make sense. The logic of it doesn't make sense. We're the only planet in this galaxy revolving on the. We found trillions and billions of exoplanets that revolve around the same star. You know, same stars, same exoplanet, same thing. Has water, has oxygen, things of that nature. You know, in the habitable zone, and this is great because this is going to lead me right next to the space topic that I want to cover or go over or watch with the Artemis 2. But I want to watch the News Daddy right after this because we got to see what the Empire is doing. But yeah, why wouldn't there be life on that? And plus, I also do believe they also say there's life on fucking I need to hit the gym. I got an album coming out. I need it. I'm not looking my best. Do some curls. I I need to watch the Sam Sulek video to get me motivated to go. To be honest, but yeah, the one of Jupiter's moon might have life on it, which I think is that should be the next step. Like shit, we need to, fuck. You see, that's my thing. Again, if I in a hypothetical war, if I was president, yes, I'll be telling my NASA chief, be like, yes, the moon is important. Yes, the moon is important. But I got some good news for you. I got good news for you. Your budget is normally $26 billion. That's the average budget for the space program for NASA. Right? I'm gonna bump it up. All right, I'm gonna add 50 billion more to it. So 70 billion. I'm gonna give NASA 70 billion in the course of my term. 4 years, and if I win the next term, I'm gonna give you another budget on top of that. But here's the priorities, okay? You want to continue the whole moon mission and play over there, and you want to use that for that budget, for that expense. We're going to still do that, but this extra money that I'm giving you. I want you to send some rovers, some satellites, some things over to the Jupiter moon. All right, we need to see if there's life over there. Let's see if there's life over there, so that I can get the credit. See, see, aliens, aliens, quote unquote, on what's that Jupiter's moon called? Europa. They say Jupiter's moon has life on it, called Europa. So. Get a little rover over there, let it do a little drilling or whatever, and have a little drone, and do some experimenting and things of that nature. And then, see, I found aliens on my term of presidency. Ha 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 ha. And then this will always be remembered in the history book that on my term, I gave NASA a minute, and then. Isaac Man, whoever's my if he says no, then shit, you're fired. I'm gonna do you like I did Pam Bondi. Get out, give me someone else. He's like, oh, we can't afford it. Like shit, make that shit happen. Hey, I'm trying to go to Europa. I hear there's a life, like water life over there. Is that true? Great. All right, we're going to spend the money, get some astronauts over there. They're like, how much? I'm gonna give you a space. I'm gonna give you a budget. Make it happen. Europa, baby. And then whatever money we have left over, send it over to Mars. But still do the moon stuff. Like, yeah, go ahead, do the moon stuff, and go ahead, play over there. I know it's important. But come on, I need to discover something. I need some new discoveries over here. I just think Mars. I just think the Mars and Europa, those two, and it goes exoplanets, Mars, Europa for me. Okay, those are the three things that I like divest in. And like, oh, what would they find over here? What they find over there? So I'm gonna finish this video up, and that's gonna lead me right into the whole NASA space and the Artemis 2 program that was going on over there. I think it's so amazing, so amazing. But let's finish what our girl Leaflet have to say. This is only a few more minutes left.
Speech, Bondi responded by pleading to the president to give her more time for the role, but Trump remained firm that he's leading.
It was a recap episode. Boo.
Yeah.
The agency. Her leading the agency was over.
If it's a recap episode, I'm in it here, but I like Leaflet. Leaflet, you're doing a good job. I'm planning on doing some VTubing myself, so I just gotta find the time. I really just gotta find the time. I got an album coming out. It's called Your Sexual Black Fantasy. Okay, it's called Your Sexual Black Fantasy. Make sure you go pick it up May 1st. On all streaming platforms except for Spotify, because Spotify's a little bitch. And it's only gonna be, well, depending on the song, I may charge like $7 or something. On that tire, it's not gonna have that many songs. Okay, it's not a Kanye album. It's not gonna be that big, but it is gonna have. If you like that R&B voice, that soul voice right here by the Adam's apple, okay, right there, you know, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that, and human made ish. Okay, I had a little bit of assistance with it. Okay, I'm not like AI just helps, speed up the process. Can we both agree? It helps speed up the process. Okay, in real music, I would have to hire a beat maker, a songwriter, background vocals, and all this other stuff. Like now, I can really make it sound like studio worthy. Add this, add that, add my vocals, write my own lyrics. you know, change the strip the stems. Get that melody, and I'm good. So yeah, thank you, Leaflet. Make sure you pick up your sexual black fantasy right here. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's go into what I was talking about with the Artemis program. I want to go into News Daddy. Let's just talk. Let's go into News Daddy. Let's go into News Daddy. All right, let's talk about News Daddy. And then we're going to go into the Artemis program. One second. Where are you? There we go. There we go. Sorry for the delay. There we go. Here we go. Come on now. Come on now. This week.
Oh, since we last spoke, the Trump administration is firing top officials left, right, and center. Body camera footage from the Tiger Woods drunk driving arrest has surfaced, and it suggests that he was calling Donald Trump after he crashed. Scary-ass looking red skies are being seen in even more countries. Lego have put together the most goated but equally expensive ad ever. The US has made history by charging record-breaking prices to watch the World Cup, and one of the most insane scams is coming out of Mount Everest. Who would have thought? All of that and so much more, so let's stop.
Oh, okay. The World Cup. So one thing about the World Cup, I got my email in. I'm supposed to go to that, the LA 28. I think that's different. I think the World Cup is not the same as the Olympics one. I gotta check my email because I did put because usually when it comes to the Olympics and when you try to go to that type of stuff, you have to pre-order. You have to pre-order that. You gotta get into the wait list and go, and do some other things. And I'm in the wait list, and the tickets haven't dropped yet. So I might be thinking something else. I think the World Cup is different. I think the World Cup is different from the LA Olympics that's showing up, because I'm supposed to go to that and they haven't dropped the pricing yet. So I wonder if that's the same thing, because I'm supposed to go to that. I don't really care how much the tickets cost. Well, I kind of do. If it's like $20,000, then like, what the hell for tickets? What sport? But let's see. All right, come on. Give me what else we got?
Stop the yapping, get subscribing, and let's go! Go, Pac-Man! Just as a head note before we start this video, in the last video, we kicked off the greatest giveaway in News Daddy history. We are giving away 1 PS5 Pro and 2 Unlucky Cloud hoodies. If you want to next Thursday.
When's PS6 coming out? I mean, PS5 been out for a while, for a minute. I think it's time for PS6. So, and plus, you know, GTA 6 as well. I mean, we're in 2026 now, so it should be dropping anytime soon. It should have dropped. You know, we got the trailers and everything. It should be on its way. But yep. All right, let's talk about. We already know Pam Bondi is out. Let's hear his take on it.
Official that he fired earlier this month, Christine Nome, he took to Truth Social and he pretty much made out that everything was okay and just said that, you know, she would be transitioning into a new role in the private sector. Thanked her for all of her work, but moving on. No, not from the story, her job, moving on. Now, there's no specific reason that he gave as to why Pam Bondi is being fired, but many are speculating that, you know, it may have something to do with her handling of the Epstein files. Also, there are some reports of her leaking some sensitive information that she shouldn't have. Ultimately, this...
What? I missed that. I missed that. Uh-oh. I missed that. Leaking information. What? What? I missed that.
The specific reasons, we don't know. That is being kept private. But it didn't even stop there, because on the very same day, Pete Hegseth, the head of the Department of War, he announced that he is asking the Army's Chief of Staff, Randy George, to step down from his post. Nice way to say you're fired. According to CBS News, all that he said was pretty much, you know, we're grateful for his service, but it was time for a leadership change in the Army. Again, no specifics, no real reason that we know of. But you know, when an Army Chief of Staff is fired during an ongoing war, you suspect probably has something to do with that. But other updates regarding the war, President Macron of France, he has now responded to Trump's comments that he made, I think in jest, about Macron's relationship with his wife. I mean, we covered it in the last video. For those who haven't watched that,
corn casserole.
You better go back and watch that. But we will play a short little clip just to remind you.
Macron, whose wife treats him extremely badly, and still recovering from the right to the job.
And while Trump, you know, was seemingly joking about that, Macron was not finding this funny at all. He said that the situation in this war is so serious that he won't address, you know, Trump's comments that he made. And he also said that Trump should stop saying the opposite of what he said the day before.
Donc les propos que j'ai pu entendre, auxquels vous faites référence.
You know, they were buddy, you know, during the whole Ukraine trying to come together, come up with a peace deal. I tell you, I bet some of these foreign leaders, they do not like, they can't wait until the because, man, I bet they can't wait because Trump is so radical, you know, with the whole, remember how he handled the whole Greenland thing? He's so radical, this and that. It's like everyone, man. But he's getting what he wants. He's technically showing other politicians on how to get it done. If you got something that you want, you got to do it this way. And he's getting it. He got Greenland. He got the oil from Venezuela, switch dictatorships and stuff like that. You know, and getting the oil. And now, but the only thing is this Iran stuff, this whole war Iran stuff it's not looking well. Let's just wait till it's done, and then I could have like a full thought on it. But yeah, man, hurry up! I'm gonna get through this politics stuff.
Références ne sont ni élégants ni à la hauteur. Voilà. Donc je vais pas y répondre. Ça mérite pas de réponse.
In other areas of the war, joint Israeli and US strikes have just struck a major bridge outside of the capital city of Iran, Tehran, and this has killed 8 people and injured 95 others. Now, this is a pretty major development because according to reports from the CNN, the B1 bridge, as it's known, is, quote, the tallest bridge in the Middle East. It was designed to cut down the 1-hour travel time between Tehran and Karaj to just 10 minutes, and it was seen as a, quote, point of pride for Iranian engineers. Well, now, not only is that bridge gone, but Trump is suggesting that more are to come. He said that the US military hasn't even started destroying what's left of the country. He said, quote, bridges are next, then electric power plants. The new regime leadership knows what has to be done, and it has to be done fast. So yeah, there's your updates from the war over the weekend, but I mean, as soon as you watch this, I'm sure there's like 50 more. There's always updates from the war. Moving on. Also,
But like all wars, to be honest, I haven't seen any updates on the Ukrainian war. I know. I thought the Ukrainian war. They took some. Does anybody Beagle chat? No, I know not in Ukrainian chat line. What is Japan? I'm on Nico. Nico, I see you. Nico, I see you. Let me know what y'all think about this whole war thing, especially out there in Japan. If y'all don't know, Nico is a Japanese live streaming platform. So, I think it's a great way to live stream, multi-stream, even on different countries' platforms like that. I think it's cool. I think it's good. It's a great way to promote my album. All right. Yeah, the whole war thing. But yeah, here's my thought. I want to give my thoughts about this really, really quick. And that is, what's Iran's plan on all this? Like, what are your plans? Your military shot up. The bridges is getting destroyed. Power plants are next. Like, this once was about liberating the people, but once you destroy all that stuff, then what? You know, it's going to be hard for them to rebuild, and it's kind of like there it is. See, I told you. There it is. Shit just fell off. I knew it was going to fall off. I said that in the beginning of the stream. Anyways, I'll fix it later. Anyways, it's kind of like, what's the big plan here? You're out military. You don't have this guy. Oh, great! You got one of our F-15s. You know, now what's the plan here? You know, it's like at this point you gotta get the whole regime and just import somebody in. Is how I see it, but I don't know. I seriously do not know what is the plan here. And I thought, the earlier rhetoric was liberating the people, and you can't really liberate the people, especially with their currency amount. That currency amount is redonkulous. That currency amount is redonkulous. Okay, and if you destroy their power line, their oil infrastructure, their bridges, the leadership, like that country is really on the verge of collapse, literally. And even if you were to do a regime change, like right now, the regime is probably like, we're gonna go all balls to the wall, all in. We in here. Like you're gonna have to destroy the entire regime and then destroy everything. What's going to happen if the regime begins to destroy the oil, destroy its own self, and then you don't have a country to run? You literally wouldn't have a country to run. Think about that. And now destroy the power line. So now what's the civilians going to do after that? I know it's war is bad and everything, but we're going to the extreme here. We're going to the radical. This is more radical extreme to where you're losing the rhetoric argument. I personally think. Yeah, I just don't want to see anyone get hurt on our side, the military side. And I feel for the innocent civilians in Iran too. I feel for them too. But if there's a regime change, it needs. I'm not sure if it's. I have faith. If anyone can do it, I have faith that he can do it. But it's looking like chaos. It looks chaos to me. The rhetoric is not on point. You're destroying, the oil. I know Israel is destroying all the oils and stuff like that. And then you blocked off the Strait of Hormuz with, so they can't get oil, and we don't even know if the civilians can get oil. And then, I get destroy the military capabilities, but damn, how long does that take? Seriously, how long does that take? And now you're sitting in ground troops. I understand sitting in ground troops is for rescue missions. You get what I'm saying? I understand sitting out ground troops if it's a rescue mission. So them sending in ground troops, I understand. I get it. But we'll see. Solve it, end it, get out. Solve it, end it, get out. I'm done.
Also, since we last spoke, guys, it's happening again, and it looks terrifying. Even more countries since we last spoke have turned completely red, and remember, the footage that you're seeing, zero filters. It's 100% real. This footage, for example, is from the Greek island of Crete, where visibility has gotten so poor that flights have had to be rerouted. And similar scenes go for several North African countries like Libya, and it's also moving towards others like Egypt too. Now, in addition to these scary-looking apocalyptic red skies, these countries have also seen flooding and even tornadoes in some regions. But although they look scary, they're not. Well, not really, because similar to what we saw in Australia last weekend, an intense storm has blown through North Africa's Sahara Desert, and it's kicked up all of this red dust into the atmosphere. That kind of creates a cloud, a red cloud, an unlucky cloud drop in April 4th. Sorry, that was in the moment. Shameless plug.
A specimen of dark, exposed by light. A process of simplicity that yields complexity. Every stitch a curated fragment of identity.
Shameless plug, shameless. I might actually get one though, to be honest with you. I might actually get one, cause those hoodies do look fire. Actually, I think I know somebody. Yeah, I think I might have to get me one of those hoodies. I know he had to work hard. Look at this little entrepreneur over here. Yeah. Good for you. But we're not going to watch that though. But yeah, that sky stuff, man, being here in California, I remember a long time ago where the sky turned red and people thought the return is here. When during the forest fires, the sky turned red. It was wild. It was crazy. I was like, what's going on here? So if you're not used to that, then yeah. So over here in California, that happens. Over here in California, that happens. So if you're not used to that, yeah, I can understand how it could be scary for some people. But what's going on with Tiger Woods, though? He got...
One place where the apocalypse really has hit is Tiger Woods' mind. What the hell is going on? You probably already heard, Tiger Woods, he got arrested for allegedly drunk driving when he crashed his car in Florida.
Yikes.
Flipped it. Well,
Yikes. Yeah, and then I think a while ago, didn't JT, Justin Timberlake, get caught drinking and driving too? There's a video on that. I need to find it. But yeah, even JT, these celebrities, I mean, you ain't above the law either. These celebrities, man, you are not above the law either.
Well, since then, body camera footage has been released by police. And while there are many interesting moments, which I'm sure Alex is showing you right now, there's one that I would like to speak about specifically. There's one part in this body camera footage where he says that he was just on the phone to President Trump.
Just keep you down here with us, please.
Yeah, I was just talking to the president.
I mean, the question that I have in this is, was he telling the truth or not? Because on the side where he was lying, you know, it could have just been one of those ploys to be like, I'm a super important person, so much so that I was just on the phone with the president.
Yeah.
So you better go easy on me, buddy police officer. Or if he was telling the truth, then damn. Brother went through every single chain of command. He got in legal trouble and just called up the president of the entire country. That's trying to get out of responsibility like I've never seen before. And I mean, both are pretty plausible. We know that Trump is a golfer and he's one of the best that's ever done it. So they could have that buddy-buddy relationship there. It kind of reminds me of the Justin Timberlake. Why are all of these celebrities get... Alex, play the clip.
Yeah, I'm on tour.
What are you doing?
That's the one. That's the one.
A what?
A world tour.
Doing what?
I'm Justin Timberlake.
Oh, really?
What's your name?
Ultimately, we're not sure how much of, you know, the Tiger Woods-Trump connection is actually gonna get him out of this problem. But he has pleaded not guilty to drunk driving. Unlike in 2017, he's kind of had these problems before. He was found asleep behind the wheel with several drugs in his system, which he had to do a year of probation for, some, you know, community service. I think it was like a $250 fine. So I imagine if this new case does go to court, the judge will be looking at previous, you know, similar offenses. So we'll see. He also said that he's going to be taking a step back from golf after obviously he's made his big comeback to get his health in check. Of course, as always, let me know your thoughts are on this story in the comments. But for now, moving on. Also, since we last spoke, we have got a crazy update from the Sophie Rain versus Florida politician situation. Now, for the regulars, you'll know what's going on, but for those who don't, essentially a Republican politician named James Fishback. Yes, we've had many a laugh about his surname in previous episodes, but he said that if he was elected as governor, he will push for 50% tax in addition to the, you know, any regular tax earned by all OnlyFans creators in Florida. He then said that he will take this money that he's taken from them and put it into schools and pay teachers better.
Yeah, sure. And Madani said free buses and all that bullshit too. You know, so like I said, here we go. Politicians making ridiculous requests, but I like and dislike this idea of taxing OnlyFans. Let's start with the like part of this, and then I'll end it with the dislike. The like part of this is sure taxing, going to the funding of where he's about to say the school teachers and stuff like that. That's great. You know, I think that's a great thing, great way to like use taxpayer money if it's not already being paid like that already. You know, technically the tax money should already be allocating to those services already, you know. Now, here's the issue. Here's the problem. I got 3 problems with this. 1, 50% of OnlyFans creators. How many OnlyFans creators are in Florida? How many OnlyFans creators are in Florida? There's that. 2, why are you going after the content creators of OnlyFans? Why not just go after the OnlyFans platform? See, it's a great idea to go after that kind of, I gotta use my words carefully, sites. Okay, that's good. You know, get rid of those type of things. You know, kind of sound like a hypocrite after, you know, my album's called Your Sexual Black Fantasy. Sound like a hypocrite. But my thing is, why not just go after the platform? Why are you going after the individual? See, that's what makes this whole rhetoric sound fake to me. That's what makes this whole rhetoric sound fake to me. And if you're really trying to go after what they stand for, you should go after the platform, not the creator. Because if you go after the platform has the most money. The platform is the one that has the money, not the individual. I mean, the individual has the money too, but you'll get more from the platform than you would from the creator. Then you target all the OnlyFans creators that's in Miami instead of trying to find the individual OnlyFans. Because how are you supposed to know? Think about it. Let's look at this in practicality. How are you going to find who's an OnlyFans creator individually inside that particular state? By taxes, it's so much easier to just go after the platform itself. Just send them a subpoena or whatever the government does. It says, hey, it's going to be a tax here now. This is the percentage, blah, 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 blah. Things like that. And plus, not only that, can they even do that? Does he even have the authority to do stuff like that? I don't know. He's probably going to explain it, but does he have the authority to even do that? Can you do that? Tax an individual because of your occupation. I'm not a politician, so I don't even know. Can you do that? I don't think you could do that. Tax a person, an individual, because of their occupation. It doesn't sound correct. Now, business sounds correct, but occupation, let's see.
And provide better school lunches. Now, when we've covered this story previously, we did kind of somewhat conclude that this was a big old, it's kind of like marketing, but for politicians, because it's a very, very unrealistic proposal. But James Fishback, he is standing by it, and also one of the major OF creators that he singled out was apparently one of the biggest, Sophie Rain. And fast forward a couple of months, they are now at the point where they're actually actively debating each other on Piers Morgan. And while the whole thing was, it's an interesting conversation to watch, there's one portion I'd like to play for you where Piers Morgan absolutely cooks Mr. Fishback. I mean, he cooked him so hard that even Mr. Fishback laughed. And the roast was at his expense. You know it's brutal.
If you want to keep doing this, then we're going to take 50% of what you earn and we're going to use it to raise public school teacher pay. Our public school teachers are not getting paid enough. We're going to use this as a resource to fund the empowerment of young women who have signed up to do something dignified, with all due respect, unlike you, and be a public school teacher, educating, inspiring, and motivating the next generation.
You know what? Here's what I would say. I've got to end this debate. Here's what I would say. I've listened to both of you, and you've both made good points. But honestly, that last statement you made was so pompous and patronising. Honestly, who are you to be the great moral arbiter of what young women do with themselves legally in the United States? Who are you to say if you become governor, you're going to take half her money in a state where they don't have even state income tax? It's like there's a real arrogance to this, that you've decided you are the moral arbiter of every Floridian. And it may be why you're trailing so badly in the polls. And Sophie, the good news for you is don't worry about it, because he's not going to win. So you're not going to end up giving Mr. Fishback any money for his plans, much as it would be great to put more money into teachers in public schools. Of course it would be. But it won't be coming from you, Sophie Rain, because he ain't gonna win.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that one was pretty crazy. But ultimately, let me know what you guys think about the situation. Are you on the side of what Piers Morgan said and Sophie Rain? Or do you agree with Mr. Fishback and he's got your vote, if obviously you're in Florida? Put it in the comments, but for now, moving on. Also, next up, we have got to talk about it.
Yeah, he's not gonna win. Piers Morgan annihilated him. But there's been episodes where Piers Morgan got annihilated, so hey, I wonder I wonder if Piers Morgan did an interview with Gavin Newsom. I gotta look that up. But yeah, he got cooked. He's not gonna win. The state does not have property tax, so how will he even get taxed? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But I gotta keep my mouth shut because my album's not for kids, and it's definitely a little X-rated. Okay, if you're into that kind of stuff. ladies. Okay, go buy the album, and you'll see. Fellas, go buy the album. Support independent creators or artists, and put it on for your girl. It's called Your Black Sexual Fantasy. Your Sexual Black Fantasy. Correction. Back to the Empire.
It's so big that I'm referring to it as it. The most goated ad potentially ever. And as soon as you see it, the first thing that came to my mind was, boy, how much did they spend on getting...
Yeah, that ad is crazy.
It's going to be... Yes, on getting the... Obviously, making... So much so that he has now sent an invoice to the US Embassy in Wellington, New Zealand, demanding 1,000 invoice 500 States have just made history.
Yes,
to go and stand on a of the US, wouldn't be surprised. Moving on. Also, on a similar note, the United States have just made history. For this year's World Cup, they are now charging nearly $11,000 for a ticket, general admission, to watch the final in New Jersey. Damn, you know what? That's not even just record-breaking for the World Cup. That is the most expensive general admission football ticket ever. Ever. There's been more expensive like VIP, you get this and you get that. This is general admission. You're just getting a seat. And that's not even the craziest part because I don't know if you guys have been to the US recently, but boy, it is so expensive just existing there. And let alone having to pay $11,000 for a ticket. But I guess if you're paying $11,000 for a ticket to go watch the final, you're probably okay with money, but still, that is...
So, I have a thought or a question. He's in the UK, you know? Ain't he in the UK? And our currency and their currency is not too far off. You know, but yeah, the U.S., United States, yeah, we are expensive. Absolutely, we're definitely are expensive, especially as you're traveling into metropolitan areas like California or states. Excuse me, strike that. States, California, New York. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be expensive. 100%. That's why you gotta make a lot of money. That's why you gotta make a lot of money. But it's gonna come crashing down sooner or later. Our economics is gonna come crashing down if we don't get the spending under control. Especially now that there's a war and all that spending going out. Yeah. Yeah, it's not going. There's going to become a crash.
That is just going to be the most expensive World Cup to actually go to. And New York and New Jersey prices?
Yeah.
I mean, just for comparison, for those who don't know, the most expensive ticket in the last World Cup, Qatar, for the best seats in the final, $1,600. This is $11,000.
See, that's another thing that I want to say. If you go into the rural areas like Kansas, North Dakota, if you go to Texas, those rural areas, you'll see that it's not that expensive. But the problem with those areas is there's nothing to do over there. There ain't shit to do over there. Excuse my language. I know I'm on YouTube, but it's the truth. It's the effing truth. There's nothing to do if you're trying to go to Kansas. There's a reason why Kansas is cheap over there, and you could buy a house for like $300K or something like that, maybe $400. I don't know the prices. Don't hit me on that. You know what I mean? So, and include even with Tennessee. Tennessee is a good place. Tennessee is a very good place, but if you were to go any other, like Nevada is expensive. California is obviously it's one of the second, if not behind New York, expensive. You know, Miami is getting there. You know, so but there's still some cheap places you can go, but don't. It's not for if you're young in your 20s. You ain't trying to go to no fucking Kansas. No offense to people that live in Kansas, but let's be honest. No one's trying to go to Kansas, New Mexico. We ain't trying to go over there. What's over there? You know, Oregon, those rural areas, Maine. Like, who's trying to? But they're cheap. You could definitely buy a house over there. North Dakota, like, yeah, you could definitely buy a house over there.
So
But if you're trying to
Category 1 seats for the final this year will be $10,990. Category 2, which is obviously the seats behind it, $7,380. Category 3, $5,700. So just the whole thing is cooked. And I think a lot of Americans are saying in their minds, well, that's not that bad when you consider the prices of Super Bowl tickets. But, you know, that's America. The World Cup is so international. The rest of the world, we're not used to paying those prices, man. And that's all before tip. Yeah. I bet you they're going to ask you for a tip on those. Don't even get me started. Moving on. Also, since we last spoke, let us talk about the craziest scam I think I've heard about in a while. And it's in Mount Everest, on Mount Everest. Never thought that scams would, I mean, I'm sure there would.
Yeah, well, that's the Empire. Dylan Page, I love his channel. I absolutely love his channel. He tells it how it is and tells the news how it is and makes the news entertaining. So I absolutely love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. It makes the news entertaining and he gets straight to the point. While other news channels, they'll be yapping. Here's a video of the news, and then after that video, yapping. Get on X. Yap. But here's the thing. Look at this video. Check this video out. Yeah. I said what I said. Let's move on to the space race. Space race. That's what I'm ready to look at. Where are you? Man, my voice is getting hoarse. Man, I need to be quicker with this. You know, I hate having this dead air. And yes, Artemis 2. We're going into Artemis 2. The people. So we already know. So here we have the astronauts deep in space. So this was taken. When was this taken? Okay, yesterday. This was taken April 3rd. And I just think this is so cool. I just think, I think space in general is so cool. Just the other day, I had this amazing story. All right, brace yourself. I'm gonna tell this story. I woke up not too long ago. I think a day or two. And I was thinking about, this whole Artemis program. I was thinking about the whole Artemis program, how so cool they're in space and yada, yada, yada. And I was also reading one of my books, my audio books, at the same time, sci-fi. And it was all coming together, and I just came up with this amazing story, a sci-fi story about furries. Yes. The story, I'm not going to say it, I might actually write it. Who knows? I might actually write it, but you know, a human astronaut crash lands on a quote unquote furry planet. And I'll just leave it at that. And you know, the adventure awaits. Adventure awaits. I know it's super random. See, that's what you're gonna get on my streams. Okay, you wanna get something super random. We hang out, we chill, we talk, we do all this great stuff. But yes, that was, and I had this whole plot point out, and you know it's gonna be weird and sexy and lots of you know boom boom. If you've been in Thailand, you know what I mean. You know, lots of that. It was gonna be fire. I had this whole plot of why she crashed land and the minks and all this and what they should look like and what the main character is gonna look like, something similar to if you ever seen Beastars. If you ever seen Beastars, the anime, if you ever seen Beastars, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. If you ever seen Beastars, you know what I'm talking about. So, man, it would be a weird story, but that's the fun of it. That's the journey. That's the story. That's the fun of it. You know, and the drama and everything, and the twists and turns. It was all coming together in my head when I was going through watching the space stuff and Beast Stars and the books. It was all unraveling in my head, like, oh, it could be like this and this and this and this and this and this, and the plot and story. Ooh, it could be. One day, I have so many stories in my head. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy how many stories I have in my head. One day I should write at least one of them. At least get the synopsis in there. But let's do this. But yeah.
910 ready? Integrity, this is Trace Gallagher with Fox News. How do you hear me?
Hey Trace, we got you loud and clear. How about us?
I've got you loud and clear. I want to explain to the audience that there is a 4-second delay, so there'll be some pause between the questions and the answers. Congratulations. How does it feel to be the first humans to leave Earth's orbit in some 54 years? Is there a difference in Earth's orbit and being outside the orbit?
Well, technically, they're not the first humans to leave orbit. The interviewer needs to do his research, but they're not the first humans to leave orbit. What is he talking about?
Earth's orbit in. There'll be some pause between the questions and the answers. Congratulations. How does it feel?
And I hope these astronauts correct them, you know, just to be a little sneaky, just to be a sly with it. Like, well, we really appreciate it. We're not technically the first humans to leave orbit. Because here's the thing. The real mission, I think it's Artemis 3 or Artemis 4 or which one that actually lands on the moon. Whichever mission that actually lands, they're just orbiting, which is still cool. It's still cool. You know, they gotta do their job, do their part, you know, and see the maneuver, see if everything's gonna work out, blah, 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 blah. The real mission. Now, I don't know if it's Artemis 3 or 4. I don't know. I think it's 3. But Artemis 3 or 4 are the ones that's going to land on the moon. They're just orbiting. They're just orbiting, doing their whole checkpoints or whatever, pinpoint, that's where we're going to go to, and then swing on back. They're just going to swing on back. But you know, this is still cool. This is still, you know, I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm looking at their journey. But the real, we gotta see. Basically, I want to see if this is actually a test run. This is actually a test run for all the other Artemis programs to see, like, okay, this was a success. Let's move it towards the next Artemis mission, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it, but the interviewer needs to come correct, if you ask me. Like, come on now. I know, like, people don't have to be the first everything, okay? Now, like I said, if I was president, shit, the first humans on Europa. I should put that in. Oh, I should put that in ChatGPT. What would it take for humanity to go to the Jupiter's moon and then come back just like the moon? How likely is it for that? Because going to Mars, that's a one-way trip. Going to Mars is a one-way trip. I already put that in ChatGPT. But what about Europa? You know? Can you do it? Because going to the moon is only 4 days, right? Going to the moon is only 4 days. And then you gotta come on back. And then go there again, another 4 days. And then you can land there. Okay, let's see.
To be the first humans to leave Earth's orbit in some 54 years. Is there a difference in Earth's orbit and being outside the orbit?
Well, we are still technically in Earth's orbit, although we did just do our translunar injection burn, and so we are definitely 100% on our way to the moon. The lunar gravity will take over in a couple of days here and start pulling us around the far side. At the end of our translunar injection here about an hour and a half ago, we just really looked at each other, and I know the United States has done this 1968 through 1972, but it's just, this is unbelievable that we can put our minds to something.
Yeah, he had a, well, you know, the United States did something like this in 1968 and 1960. he had to correct it. I'm glad, yes, correct his ass. Like, hey, man, we're not the first, we're not the first, man, but I appreciate you wanting to think of us like that. I'm so glad he got that in there
and pull it off. This is an unbelievable technical accomplishment.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it really is unbelievable to us. We watched this thing. It was just this flawless launch, and it was unbelievable to watch. And what really fascinates me about this is that you, in a few days, will become the first humans to travel the farthest in space, more than anybody else has ever done. It took us a long time to get back here, and now we're about to exceed that. Is that a moment of pride? Is it a moment of history? How do we feel about that?
It's great you brought that up. We were aware that we would pass that milestone if we happened to launch on this date. There were other days where we wouldn't have necessarily. So we are not necessarily a crew that lives on superlatives, but it is a milestone that's important. It's important that people can understand and wrap their heads around what is the latest in what we're doing. What does this mean relative to what we've done in the past? What are we going to be pushing for into the future? We think that the journey that we've been on and all of our teams have been on with us is so much more than just one number. But we also hope that that number just keeps being exceeded and exceeded by the future crews. That's why we're here, to build a legacy for the future.
Right. Because the reason why this stuff is important is to be the next, to do the next frontier. Right? Sorry about that. I'm still trying to get used to these clicks. I know I need to be using OBS. It'll be a lot easier and cheaper. But the reason why we do these missions is to push the boundaries because me personally, I do believe in climate change. So what happens to this planet if shit hits the fan or nuclear wars and stuff like that? You're eventually going to have to make a find another home, okay? And obviously, the moon is a stepping stone. The moon project is a stepping stone for Mars. Point blank, period. Okay? There's a lot of ambition to go to Mars, just not enough funding to accomplish Mars. And when I say accomplish, I mean to solve Mars, like the oxygen problem and heating up the planet, and the stuff like that, and not only that, another reason why, and this one's a big one, can you actually do it? What issues, what problems is going to occur on the moon on the moon first? Because going from the moon to Earth, it's only 4 days. Now, going to Mars, that's 6 months. Okay? So it's kind of like you need a station, kind of like your airport situation when you have layovers. Hey, we're going to go do the layover first, or we're going to fly over. Like for me, if I'm traveling internationally, I got to travel. I got to go to the either LAX or the San Francisco, one of those two, either one of those two, and then they're gonna lay me over either, depending on where I'm going, either in Texas or Florida to get on the international flights. You get what I'm saying? Like the layover, and that's what the moon is for. So you're gonna leave Earth and lay over on the moon, and then hit your Europa or Mars. And then we just repeat the pattern of how to create a city on the moon. And then once we like, okay, we were able to do this, we learned from this, we learned from that, we learned how to make a road right here, and then we can make towers right here, and then when Elon's rockets comes to land, it will land perfectly right here. We can refuel. Basically, you can start refueling on the moon, and then back, and then like, okay, here we go. Head over to Mars. It's to expand the human race. The human race was never, and even I believe it was never just to be on one planet. In my mind, you have trillions of planets out there in the galaxy. We're just one. So yeah, sorry, I just got a text message. I'm reading the chat right now. So yeah, when the moon is just a stepping stone. Moon is just a stepping stone of how to do things, how to get it right. What's mistakes? There's going to be mistakes. There will be mistakes. There will be accidents. There may be death. There may be death because you're in space. Space. It's not like you can oxidize space. And then it will learn by creating new technologies. Again, once you conquer the moon, plus with the mining and everything, and this is the discoveries, imagine the discoveries on the moon. New discoveries. It's gonna be nuts. Crazy. And then once you find those discoveries, off to the next discovery. Mars. So yeah. But yeah, if that was me, that was president, here's your moon budget. But hey, same time, hey, here's a budget for the Europa and Mars. Let's speed that up. let's speed up those projects over there for Mars. Let's speed up those Mars projects. Let's create another rover. Let's get another rover out there. you know, and plant the American flag on it, you know, or let's start developing how can we heat up the planet and create oxygen. I mean, we technically already know how to create oxygen, but how do we do it at a large scale with greenhouses and stuff like that? That's going to be the question. That's going to be the question. All right, let's go. Yeah, this whole the Artemis program is amazing, absolutely amazing.
You know, it's interesting because yesterday, I mean, this thing went off almost perfectly, right? It was on time. Was that surprising? Because, you know, you look back just in recent history and missions tend to be delayed, sometimes hours, sometimes days. This thing went pretty much according to what everybody was hoping it would do. Was that somewhat surprising when they said we are a go for launch?
Joke. Yes. You know, it was surprising. I think we were, you know, we like to say that we're prepared without having an expectation. But, you know, in the back of your mind, you kind of hope you launch. And then when we got really close, it was like, wait, we're getting ready to go to space. And when those solids lit, you know, it was a ride where you're trying to be professional, but the kid inside of you wants to break out and just hoot and holler. But what I wanted to say about that was, our Exploration Ground Systems team, our launch control team, they have had some time to practice since February and March and really dial in their procedures and learn and grow. And so I just want to give them some credit. It was an example of how hard they've been working lately that we launched. And it was, even though we didn't get to really watch, but it felt beautiful.
Yeah, they should give themselves a big round of applause because it really, I know it felt beautiful. It certainly looked beautiful. Very quickly, Victor Glover, while I have you on the microphone, we are broadcasting across the nation, but we're focused. We're based in Los Angeles. And I thought since you were from Southern California, maybe you'd like to give a shout out to your friends and family here.
Oh, well, of course. My mom lives there, my grandparents, all the cousins, aunts, and uncles, and just everybody in California. Thank you for all of the support and the love for all of these years. So many of my career milestones happened in that special place. That will always be home, no matter where the government sends me. You're going with us.
How has it been? Yeah, how has it been on board now for your first night? I know you haven't gotten much sleep. They keep waking you up. They kind of send out the songs they are doing. And I hear, Christina, that you are somehow sleeping upside down or face down. Maybe you can explain that to us.
Gravity.
Sure. Yes, it has been a great couple of days just learning how to live in Orion. And I would love to give a quick shout out to our families before we keep going on with the questions, just because we haven't had a chance to say hi to them, and it's just so great to have had their support building up to the launch, and we miss you guys already. Living in Orion isn't quite the same as being at home with our families, but yes, some of the exciting things are the burns that we do. They kick off with such an acceleration that most things that you see Velcroed around that aren't actually fastened down all fall down to the floor of Orion. But speaking of floors and ceilings, it actually is just all by convention only. There is no difference between up and down. And so, yes, I've been sleeping with my feet there and my head down here, and it's very comfortable. I think I'll probably stay there the whole mission unless someone kicks me out. So we're finding out how to make this space capsule a home.
Maybe we can hand it to Jeremy Hansen here. And Jamie, you can also say hello, give a shout out to your family. And I'm wondering, while you do that, if you'd like to tell us if there have been any glitches, any problems. I know we heard there was some kind of an issue with the onboard toilet, but beyond that, are we good so far?
Yeah, you don't want to mess that up. Don't want that to be a glitch.
Yeah, great to have a chance just to say thanks to my family and missing them, and for the support from Canadians back home. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here and do this. We did have another little surprise today. I mean, the vehicle is in great shape, and we feel like everything's going really smoothly. But on our way to the translunar injection burn inside of 20 minutes, we did get warning message that, emergency message for cabin leak suspected, which grabs your attention because this is right when you're coming through some of the higher density orbits and you might run into something. And, you go from 20 minutes to doing this burn where you're going to head to the moon to thinking about, are we going to cancel this burn, start getting in our spacesuits, and then trying to figure out how to get home in a day or less. And luckily, that was just a little anomaly, and the Houston helped us out. They confirmed they were seeing good cabin pressure, as were we on board, and we did the burn, and now we're on our way to the moon, feeling good about integrity. She's a good ship.
It's going to be fantastic. Reed Weissman, you are the commander of this mission. Maybe you'd like to give a shout out to your family as well. And I'm wondering, the responsibility, does it weigh heavy on you? Do you feel like, I'm just not going to go to sleep. I'm going to make sure that we do everything we need to do. What is it like to be the commander of something so historic and something that people have been waiting for so long?
Well, to answer that, I'm learning from my crewmates here. I'm flying in space with two of the most skilled astronauts that we have, most accomplished astronauts. And Jeremy, on his first day in orbit yesterday, was just getting the job done 100%. So my job here is pretty easy. Definitely sometimes you get a little bit nervous. There's a couple things that caught our attention so far, but it's going great. And my job is very easy. I am definitely getting pulled along by my crewmates. And then you gave me the opportunity. I'm taking it. Say hi to my family, my dad back in Maryland, and my brother probably heading home to Washington, and then everybody back in Houston, my daughters, my girlfriend, everybody's doing great back there. Thank you.
I guess really, lastly, what we really need to know is, are you happy so far with the food? Are you happy so far with the wake-up songs and the music? Any kind of request that we can make on your behalf while we get a chance to talk to Mission Control a little bit later?
We get a chance to talk to a little bit later.
We just had our first meal together. That's how busy it's been. And this morning, our lead public affairs, Courtney Beasley, we heard her voice come on the radio first, and she introduced the songs and some amazing messages from the teams across this international program that have put this vehicle together. And we all agreed we would wake up slow and get into the day easy and quiet. And this morning, we all got up cheering and rocking and getting everything ready to go.
Yeah, and that's, it got to be tough to be around. It's very important if you have to be around people that you trust and love and you get along with, because I can only imagine to be surrounded by people that you don't get along with. And he says songs. You already know what I'm about to say. So somebody tweet him or get him on X and I gotta send him one of my songs, but I don't know if it's gonna be appropriate in that type of environment. She's the only female in the room, so I'm not trying to stir no trouble. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to stir no trouble. You don't want to put none of my songs on there. It'll be a little bit too. He said he has a girlfriend. If you've been paying attention, she's married. If you've been paying attention to her interviews, he's married too. It's been paying attention. I don't know about the Canadian guy. This guy right here, he's the captain. I think. But if he's the captain, I assume he's married. Assuming, but maybe he could put my album on. But the one with the girlfriend, oh yeah. You gonna need my album. You gonna need it. If for the girlfriend, yeah, you gonna need it. Your sexual black fantasy. But that's about it. I just want to see that. I think space. I'm always a sci-fi nerd. I'm always a sci-fi nerd. Always. I've always been a sci-fi nerd. I love a lot of sci-fi. There's not a lot of sci-fi movies that I don't like. There are some. I just heard something. Gotta be careful. I'm in this house by myself, so I gotta be careful. And that thing just fell. So, all right, moving on. Oh man, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about this anime. Cause remember what I was talking about? Yeah. So May 1st. Oh yeah, I gotta tell the astronauts. Someone gotta tell them that May 1st my album coming out. May 1st. May 1st. May 1st. May 1st. May 1st. May 1st. Okay, go cop that. Support indie artists. I really really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me. Your boy, your love. Okay, come on now. Okay. You want to play the album when it's you and your girl alone. And you know, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. All right, I'm going a little too crazy. I'm going a little too crazy on stream. I am getting tired. I've been up for a minute. But I'm pushed through. I want to get through this anime though, because I love anime. Your sexual black fantasy, May 1st. All right. I love this group of people. Good. I go give them a like. I love this show. I love this show. I love this show because it's a One Piece debate, and I got thoughts too. I got opinions too.
I'm like, how many people can do this? How many people have clashed?
Both things can be true. At a certain point, for Luffy, it was a feat. For people like Raj, who's been in the game for years, using hockey, that's not a feat.
You know that there has to be, in fact, ideologies clashing. That's it. But you can't determine at any point in the series where that strength level is. And if the least strongest conqueror that we could say that did something to the sky was Yamato, then it's perfectly fine to say anybody at Yamato's level can do something to the sky.
Another 5 from Casey. Stronger hockey than Luffy currently. Emu. Shanks.
Okay.
I guess we're not counting Kaido. Based on this, it says Luffy's hockey is great. Another 5 from Casey Griffin. It says Luffy's hockey is greater than Kaido's hockey since Kaido was affected by Gear 5. Based on this, who in the verse still has stronger hockey than Luffy? Who in the verse has stronger hockey than Luffy currently? Emu? Shanks. I guess we're not counting Kaido and Big Mom because they're out. I don't know if I would count them anyway, but maybe. I don't know. It's like, who do you think is a Sky Splitter still? I'll guess Dragon.
You gotta stop with the Sky Splitter thing, bro.
You have to be that.
Hold on. I want to answer the question too. Who's stronger than Luffy right now? Well, right now I gotta. I'm only at Egghead. I finally made it to Egghead. I started One Piece in 2012, 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. Somewhere between 13, 14, definitely 15, but where I started. Yeah, I started One Piece somewhere between 12, 13, 14. 2012, 2013, 2014. Between that, one of those times is where I started. And, you know, life happens, you know, grew up, blah, 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 got behind. And here I am, 2020, 2026, old as hell. Not that old, but still in my 30s, but still Still watching One Piece and only at 8K. Finally made it to 8K. Finally made it to 8K. But right now, who I think is the strongest. So I know they're headed Elbeth right after 8K. I already know that. And I've been keeping up with the manga as well, so I know what happens. So I already know what Emu looks like if you've been reading the manga. Emu's been revealed for those non-manga readers. Yeah, we know what Emu looks like. That shadow character has been revealed. Now we finally know. But anyways, we got okay. So I want to say Dragon stronger than Luffy. I want to. I mean, we haven't seen any feats of Dragon. We haven't seen any feats. I'm still surprised. How is Dragon not a Yonko? That's my question. How's Dragon not a Yonko? You know, or a Emperor in the series in the universe. Like, explain that to me. He should be a Yonko. But my thought would be Dragon. I would say Garp. Stronger than Luffy. I would say, yeah. I will put Garp on that. I will put Garp on that list. I will put Garp, Dragon, stronger than Luffy. The question is who's stronger. The question is who's stronger to Luffy at this current time. I want to say Garp. Well, Garp's captured, but you know if he wasn't captured. Garp, Dragon. I'm thinking Sengoku, but no. It's up in the air. Sengoku's up in the air. All right, guys, I'm about to give a slight spoiler, manga spoiler. Slight manga spoiler. Scopper Kaban. It just been shown. I mean, it just been shown for the manga readers. Scopper Kaban, Dragon, Garp. Maybe Sengoku. Maybe. Not that many left. Hawkeye. There we go. I think I got it. Hawkeye, Garp, Dragon. Hawkeye, Garp, Dragon. Scopper Kaban, Sengoku. Yeah. Those are my five. All right, 5. Scopper Kaban, Hawkeye, Garp, Sengoku, and Monkey D. Dragon. One of my favorite characters. Monkey D. Dragon is one of my favorites, but we haven't seen much from him. But let's go.
I just feel
you have to be that to have.
I just feel like there's so much more context around sky splitting, bro.
I think you overscale it.
Yeah, you do.
I
Like a
think you
lot.
yeah,
bro.
I
think
think
you do. Yeah, just a little bit. I don't think being a sky splitter means that like you are more capable than others or something like that.
Yeah.
It just
I
means
think
that
it does.
it
I
has.
think it definitely does.
You have no proof to that.
Because I've seen people with Conqueror's Hockey not split the sky, and then the only people I have seen do it were like the top of the world. So why would I be like, yo, that doesn't mean anything?
Because we've had varying degrees of people at different strength levels that haven't split the sky, even when they clashed, but they did split the sky with somebody else. So, for example, right? And I know you're going to disagree with this, whatever. Whitebeard and Roger clashed right before Shaggy was saved. And Conqueror's Hockey's coming out, but the sky didn't split.
They probably weren't sky splitters yet.
What is sky
The
splitter
man
even
did
mean?
Critical Mass Supreme King Hockey.
What does that even mean? Dog, Sky Splitter is not like a power level. He's over 9,000. Like, he's not over 9,000 just because he can split the sky. You know, I mean, I'm saying this with love. I'm not saying this to clown him or nothing like that. I'm saying this with love. I'm saying this with passion. I'm saying this with passion. You know, and this is not like a diss or anything like that. I love these guys. I love this channel. I love this channel. But a Sky Splitter is not like a power level. At least it doesn't come off that way. What comes off as a power level are the bounties. When their bounties go up, that counts. I consider that counts as like a power level, quote unquote. Not just because you can split the sky. There's a lot of characters that can split the sky, and we don't really have to really discuss the 5 that I just named. Okay, the 5 that I just named. All right. Now, question: just because, let's say, Garp hasn't split the sky, does it mean he can't do it? Let's remember. Well, manga readers, and they go over the manga. If you've been watching this show, you know they go over the manga. Okay, so for the manga readers, you already know this. But for the manga readers, you already know that damn it, what was I gonna say after I heard that noise? I hate when that happens. Garp can split the sky. We know Garp has a capability. He was one of the most feared, even with Rox. When Rox Dieselbeck went to God Valley and they heard that Garp was showing up, everyone was over here about to shit their pants. And you're telling me just because Garp hasn't shown that he split the sky, that he can't do it? Doesn't make any sense right there. Right? And same thing probably goes, again, we gotta wait until it's animated, but we know Rox could split the sky, but just because he never shown it, it puts him at a different level. Like Roxy, he was one of the most powerful pirates. He was one of the most powerful pirates. But just because he didn't show splitting the sky, what means he's at a different level? I don't know. Splitting the sky is kind of like an effect with your hockey. You know, it's an effect. You know, because there's been characters. There's been characters. I just got something. Man, I hate getting all these bots on this app. I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of bots on this big ol' app. I don't know what to do. There's a lot of bots on here. But yeah, because there's been weaker characters that split the sky. Obviously, Yamato split the sky, but she couldn't hold a candle to Kaido. So that right there proves it to me.
He learned that later. What do you mean?
No. I disagree. I believe he was because he was definitely
Hold on, y'all are saying
this is a bad take now.
You think Roger was a sky splitter at God Valley, which is possible.
Listen.
We don't know that.
To Larry's point, because we talk about the whole age thing too. Shanks at 39, the same age Roger was back then, is splitting the sky with old man Whitebeard. Off a whim. It wasn't like they were early. They just literally do one attack.
Yes.
Okay.
We're far above splitting the sky now.
You have to stop with this guy.
So
The thing is, you'll make a statement like that, but you won't have anything to back it up with.
Okay, so
you're just saying it.
We had a sky splitting debate a while back,
and you almost convinced yourself that it took more than just strength level.
No, it was.
What's going on?
It was.
He said that Roger and Whitebeard were in sky splitters
At God Valley.
They weren't? At God Valley.
They weren't.
At God Valley. At God Valley.
Wait, what?
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
They were 100% sky splitters.
At God Valley. No, it was a while.
He
You almost convinced yourself that it took more than just strength level.
No, it
Wait,
was.
what's going on?
It was.
He said that Roger and Whitebeard were in Sky Splitters.
That got valid.
They
got
weren't?
Wait, they weren't?
What's going on?
It was.
He said that Roger and Whitebeard were in Sky Splitters.
What evidence do you have that they couldn't split the sky? Nah. Because Roger and Guard, they had to take down rocks. So they could split the sky. But what does it take to split the sky in the first place? You know, obviously hockey, of course, obviously a huge amounts of hockey. But just because they didn't show it doesn't mean they can't do it. And plus, they were still a threat. They were making a name for themselves. You know, they were. I guess they were kind of Yonko levels before they even became Yonkos. So I don't get it.
That got valid.
They weren't?
Yeah, and this is going to be my last video. I'm kind of once you start seeing me do this, it's kind of, and I apologize. Hold on, let me talk to you guys real quick. I apologize. I apologize. I'm not gonna get through the music. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. My next stream, that's all it's gonna be. My next stream, that's all it's gonna be. I know I'll try to do it. Oh, there's gonna be a lot other topics to talk about. It's coming, y'all. Give me likes on this video. Just put pressure on me. Put pressure on me. That's all I gotta say.
We don't know.
Yeah.
They were 100% Sky Splitters.
Yeah.
Are you serious? That really makes no sense.
I think you're just really like there's so much holes in your sky splitting.
And-
Like he thinks it's a feat. Like sky splitting is a feat.
It is a feat.
In comparison to like it actually meaning something. Like where does it come from? Like how many people can do this?
But both
How many
things
people
can be
have
true.
clashed?
Both things can be true.
At a certain point, for instance, Luffy, it was a feat. For people like Roger who's been in the game for years, using hockey, that's not a feat.
If Roger was a sky, like I'm
Do you
not
think
saying
Garp
he
is a sky
wasn't.
splitter at that point?
He might have been. I'm saying I don't know. My point is.
Roger was battling him all the time.
My point is, y'all, you're trying to convince me that it means nothing. It can't mean nothing. Only the top of the world have ever done it.
No,
it can't mean nothing.
This is like there's certain things in Conqueror's hockey that are shown that not everybody else shows, right? Like Luffy was able to knock out 50,000 people on Fishman Island with his Conqueror's hockey, but we never saw Roger randomly just do a hockey blast like that and knock out other people, right? Shanks on a ship sends his hockey all the way to Green Bull, and all of a sudden Green Bull is not allowed to activate his Devil Fruit, and the people around him end up being knocked out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen that with Whitebeard. Just because we haven't seen it with other characters doesn't mean that they necessarily can't do
I love this guy. He just has so much logical takes. Like he's spitting facts right now. Like, hey, I'm showing you evidence of why you're wrong. Here's why. We could go back. It's kind of like how courts. It's kind of like the courts, you know? Like, no, we have evidence, we have historical evidence, and here's this situation, here's that situation, and we could determine it like that on this situation, you know? And that's what he's doing right now. And I love the logic. I love how he breaks it down of, no, because of this, and this, and we can look back at chapter blank, 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 and see that this happened. It can happen. Love it, love it. While Sebastian is kind of like talking emotionally, like I just want this to be a thing. I want it to be a thing. When knowing goodwill, it's not really a thing. You're just fanning out. You're trying to be a fanboy right now. Like I know, like you kind of rage bait. It kind of sounds like he's trying to rage bait a little bit, just a little bit. It kind of sounds like he's trying to rage bait a little bit. But we love it here. We love it. We love it. We love, you know, a good debate. We love a good debate. But for this one, they have good debates. And you need people like that when you have debates. You need people to go against the grain and disagree with you and everything like that. But this right here, you do need people like that. But for man, it doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't Whitebeard be skyscraper? We don't even know what it takes to even split this guy at that time. Because think about it, Whitebeard split this guy when he was on Shanks, you know, when Shanks came onto Whitebeard's ship. And then not only that, Whitebeard split this guy during the fight with Goldie Roger when they were on that island. And not only that, what did Whitebeard fight during God Valley? He didn't really fight anybody, but there's no evidence that he can't. But yeah, let's see what else do they gotta say.
Can't do it, but you have to take them for what their character is and what they were up to that point.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
It's like, for example, I even proved it to you with Yamato and Kaido. When they clashed on Onigashima, there were clouds, and then when they clashed, there were no clouds.
But they didn't split the sky.
All right, another example, Whitebeard and Roger. When they clashed on that island, they didn't split the sky. Are they sky splitters? No, they tore the sky apart.
And this is where I had my rebuttal about your intention behind the attack and your ideologies matter.
Okay, but that's where your statement of sky splitting weakens, because now you're talking about ideologies clashing with one another, making them sky splitters instead of saying it's through power based only.
But both things need to be true. This is why I mentioned Kaido and Kaido and Yamato, like you did, and Luffy and Doflamingo. The ideologies couldn't be more different. But if there's a gap or they're not of a certain level, there won't split the sky. The ideologies are still diametrically opposed. But Luffy and Doflamingo weren't strong enough to split the sky.
All right.
Kaido and Yamato, one of them was. Therefore, Kaido, if somebody of his caliber was capable and they clashed, they would have split the sky.
Okay, so two things could be true at one time, right?
Yeah.
But your conversation is now leaning towards ideology. And no, it does, because now it comes ideology and it becomes power. But you don't know, out of all these clashes, where the base limit for that power for sky splitting is.
Right.
You know that there has to be, in fact, ideologies clashing. That's it. But you can't determine at any point in the series where that strength level is. And if the least strongest conqueror that we could say that did something to the sky was Yamato, then it's perfectly fine to say anybody at Yamato's level can do something to the sky.
Exactly. So basically, I'm gonna give a different take. Try and break down what he's saying. What level is a sky splitter? Now, technically, you don't know who can or can't. Okay, let's measure it. You know, let's use characters that have and who has. Okay, obviously we got our strongest, but we also have now Yamato. Bam, there's our bar. Okay, you following me? Yamato is that bar. So, who now we know who, you know, our top, our heavy hitters. We already know they could split the sky, our heavy hitters. So Yamato is that bar. What character, now these are for our manga readers, was at a Yamato level during God Valley? Who could say they were at, or at least higher than Yamato level at God Valley? Now, this is where opinion based. I would say, obviously, Rocks. I would say Kaido, if not the same. Kaido during that time. Obviously, Whitebeard, Big Mom during God Valley. Garp, Goldie Roger, and then Shiki. Well, everyone on Ross crew, they were a force to be messing with. Everyone on Ross crew, stronger than Yamato. So there, so Yamato's here, and the characters I name are up here. Then these characters can split the sky without even being at here at this level. You get what I'm saying? It makes sense to me. It makes perfect sense to me.
It just matters how opposed are the ideologies
Now,
between that person.
I think that's
So
bullshit. I don't know what they mean by ideology. Like they have different beliefs and their motives and their moral compass, and they must, their will to fight. I don't think that really matters in my personal opinion. But I don't know where they're going with. I don't know where ideology comes into play.
is Zoro of that skill level? Is Loki? Is anybody else above Yamato in terms of Conqueror's Haki? Absolutely. The only person I can say for without a doubt that doesn't have that strength level happens to be Doflamingo, because he didn't do it with Luffy during Dressrosa.
Well,
right.
You're in a mirror world.
Right. Cat was in a mirror world, so we can't use that against him. But that's what I would say. So that's what I'm saying. You lean towards more ideology. We don't even have enough time, but my bad. But I feel like, you get what I'm saying? You can't say, yo.
And the video's almost done. But yeah, I agree. I agree with this guy over here. All right. I need to hit the gym too. I think I'll do that in the morning. All right, I'm gonna end the video here. I hate doing it. I hate doing this to you guys. I hate doing it to you guys, but I gotta end the video here. I'm gonna continue it tomorrow. I'm gonna continue tomorrow, and we're gonna finish. I'm gonna finish everything that I was supposed to do today, and call it. But thank you for joining me. Got the muscles. Just to close the video, thank you for watching. Hit that like, subscribe, the bell notification, and make sure that you tell me how my album is. Tell me that it's trash and that was boosted. I want my money back. I'm sorry, I don't know how to give money backs on digital products. So you're just gonna have to keep it, okay? Play it at the gym. Play it when you're at alone with your special someone to get the. Okay, so hopefully, buy my album May 1st. It's coming out. Your Sexual Black Fantasy. It's a baby making type of music. Baby making type of music. You'll love it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And there's a lot. There's some you'll be able to bump it in a car. If you're trying to shock some people. All right. Yeah, I'm aware. I have weird thoughts going on in my head. Weird creative thoughts going on in my head. I'm the only person that can really push things out there to the limits in terms of creativity. At least I think so. So yeah, go check it out. Check it out. I really appreciate it. Support indie artists. It's a real high intensity, sexual, dirty lyrics, bondage and all that type of fetishes that's forbidden, that you can't do with your girl lyrically. So that's it, you guys. All right, thank you for watching, and check it out. When I start doing all of this and this and this and this and this, that's how you know I'm kind of winding down, like, I need to get some sleep. I need to get some sleep. It's like 9:30 a.m. right now. So gotta go. I gotta go pass out, but I will try to be here tomorrow. All right. May 1st, Your Sexual Black Fantasy. I love y'all.